bring the microphone around to the mouth, and you can talk, and people can hear you. Good morning. I'm Rayford Brown.
I'm Kelly Knapp.
Good morning, I'm Lee Barrels.
We got to get us an opening played. You know,
Yes.
we're working on it, guys. So we're going to have some kind of a jazzy little opening here.
Yep.
Maybe maybe a 40-piece orchestra.
I don't know.
No, you don't want that.
I think we should have a fight song.
How about we just kapow? We could do some stuff from the old Batman TV days.
Well, there you go.
Kapow, kaboom, pop, wow.
Maybe we need a fight exit song by the end of the morning.
I don't know. So yeah, what's it is? What day is it?
It is Friday Eve.
Thank you. I just wanted to make sure you knew where you were, because I actually did today.
Because Thursday, thank God it's Friday, but no, it's Thursday, it's Friday Eve.
It is Friday Eve, Thursday morning, and it's a little after 7 o'clock now. Welcome to the show, y'all. Go ahead and get some of the basics out. If you want to chat today, we've got some time. We've got it's going to be Miller time, and I don't know what time we're chatting with him today. Do you?
I'm sure he'll send me a message
Okay, good.
and let me know, because I
Chris
think
Miller will be joining us at some point in time this morning, and we'll talk about Gordon football. That's going to be tomorrow night. It's going to be local. It's going to be right here in Jacksonville.
Did you get your ticket yet?
No, I have not. I just wanted to make sure.
I got mine yesterday.
Oh, good. All right. Well, may as well go order a couple. You have to order them online, don't you?
Yes, they're $9.50. They're $1 more. Oh, there you go. And I forgot to mute my phone.
So we will have that. We'll be at the game tomorrow night. Since we're not quite media anymore, we will have to pay to get in, because before we were covering the game and all that sort of good stuff. But we'll get it.
We were paying.
Yeah, we were paying. Oh yeah, my God! And wasn't free for us. We were there for
for
broadcast purposes.
Yes.
But we're and we may be doing some broadcasting tomorrow night too during the game.
That's right.
Some highlights on Facebook. Just never know what's going to happen live, or we're going to be there.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll work out. We can do it. We can do it from a telephone.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's easy.
You can do it from your phone. Or I'll bring a small computer with me.
No, the telephone's great.
I'll bring a computer, and then if I bring a computer, I'll bring a whole, a mixer, and we can have 17 microphones out there. Might even talk to some of you people if you're.
How about around 8 o'clock?
Okay, that's fine.
All right.
We're talking about what time is Miller time today. It's going to be around 8 o'clock.
Yep.
Okay, dokie. If y'all woke up and you're one of those folks like me that checks the National Hurricane Service every day,
everyone raise your hand.
There's an extra X out there.
Kelly does it too.
There'd be an extra X. There was one yesterday, because we had 4 last week one day.
They multiplied.
This is us in the morning as we're coming into the studio. Where's the X's? We go straight to the computer. Where's the X's?
Yeah.
Kelly, it's the first thing she does when she sits down. She counts the X's.
I can see it directly.
You can't see it on that, but if you click on, you do like I do here. I've got the what it actually looks like from satellite overhead.
Right.
That's just positioning over there.
Right.
But there's a system that's still off the North Carolina coast. It looks like the beginning of a hurricane, but it's not, y'all. It's not going to happen. So don't get excited unless something bad goes wrong.
You've got
But anyway, that's going on. We've still got the remnants of Gordon. When it dies, you're supposed to bury it, right? But this one just kept on moving. They didn't put enough weight around his ankles when it went away. So former Gordon is trying to reform, and there is a chance that it can do something. Right now, 40% chance of some kind of formation over the next week. Over the next 2 days, 48 hours, only a 20% chance. As of early morning today, here's what the National Hurricane Center was predicting. It's called a subtropical Atlantic. Remnants of Gordon. Disorganized showers and thunderstorms. Disorganized. What happens when they get organized?
That's me every morning.
That's when they become hurricanes and tropical storms and stuff. But anyway, right now it has it's an area of disorganized showers and thunderstorms over the central tropical Atlantic, forecast to interact with another area of low pressure to its west. That means on this side of it, while moving northeastward. This is a good thing right now. This little sucker is still moving northeastward between 5 and 10 miles per hour for the next 2 days at least. And that just takes it further and further and further away from us and further north up into cooler waters. But it's doing it at an extremely slow rate of speed, 5 miles per hour. Sometimes they say up to 10. While conditions, they say, only marginally conducive for additional development, towards the end of this week, a tropical depression or storm could still reform in a few days while the system moves slowly northward over the central subtropical Atlantic. After 2 days or so, instead of going north-northeast, you guys know what the hands of the clock and the compass rose is, so you know what direction it's going. Instead of going north-northeastward, they're predicting it's going to turn back towards the north, which, as long as it's as far out as it is, that means, the North Atlantic. But if it turns northwestward, that means not good. If it turns northwestward, I'll start giving you plans that you need to be making. So, anyway,
No, just make room for Kelly and me.
I don't have any. Well, we got plenty of room, but it's all bare floors right now.
I went in there and looked this morning, Kelly. Phew,
It's a mess.
tore that place apart, but it's going to be so nice.
It's going to be fantastic.
That's exactly the way I'd want mine.
And this other X, number 2 out there.
Number 2.
Yeah,
Number 2X.
I'm not going to do it. Shower thunderstorm activity has increased overnight. A well-defined area of low pressure, a few hundred miles to the northwest of the remnants of Gordon. Yeah, on this side of Gordon. Got it? Environmental conditions appear only marginally conducive, but some additional development of this system is possible as it meanders. Who writes this stuff? As it meanders over the open waters of the central or western subtropical Atlantic, though early next week, all the way through next week, only a 20% chance of formation in 7 days, 10% over the next 2 days. Okay, that's what you got from the storm.
Okay.
I guess I messed my sister up when I sent her a message last night with some pictures of the demolition work that's been going on. She knew it was happening. She just didn't know what it was going to be. So her question was, oh, seriously, I love what you're doing and can't wait to see the finished project. And then she said, well, where's the dishwasher? I got to have a dishwasher. Where's the dishwasher going to go? She took that pictures apart. So my response to her.
You sent her a picture. Don't tell me you sent her a picture of Robbie.
No, the
He
dishwasher.
sent her a picture of herself,
I
probably.
feel even better.
Oh, no.
We've hired a live-in dishwasher. It's a guy, so you don't have to worry. He goes by the name of Shockwave.
Oh, my
Everything comes out sparkling and no water or dish soap is required. Jake takes over on weekends. Shockwave and Jake will be cleaning the dishes.
Oh,
We just put them away in the cabinet after that. No problem. Just a big deal. Oh, come on. You guys have never heard those jokes.
Oh, I've heard like dropping crumbs on the floor. Don't worry about it. The dogs will get it. But,
Oh, no. There are a lot better ones than that out there.
You're just, I'm proud of you. You didn't send her a picture of Robbie.
I figured he'd send a picture of herself.
Yeah, we'd have
Well,
to beat him up.
I wash a lot of dishes. Robbie keeps harping on me. Why are you washing that? Well, it's just one little dish and a fork or something, for my watermelon, or
Yeah.
a bowl and a.
And you can wash it and put it right away.
I do.
No
And she
evidence
said,
you were ever
but I
there.
need to be able to run the dishwasher regularly. You don't want to leave stuff in there for a week. Well, I rinse it off when I put it in there anyway. Okay, do you girls rinse it off? Rinse your dishes before you put them in the dishwasher?
If they've got
Sometimes, but not
Oh.
all the time.
if they have food residue on them, that might be a little.
It depends.
Dry.
I'm getting ready to get a new dishwasher anyway because I hate the one I have.
I know I need a new one too.
And mine's
You're
only like,
trading Robin in.
Robin doesn't wash dishes. Mine's what? 1, 2, 3,
It
3
just-
years old.
It makes my
It's only
hands
3 years
3
old?
years
I hate
old.
this thing. Yes.
3 years.
Uh-huh.
What color is it?
It is.
This is the problem. She doesn't like the
stainless.
color.
You wouldn't like it. This thing's crap. It's a Whirlpool, and I will never buy another one.
Like they used to be.
Oh, you are not wrong with that statement. So I just got to get
Is
a
it
new one.
noisy?
No, it don't clean the dishes.
Well, that's
So
probably the
aggravating.
problem I'm having with mine right now. I don't think it's cleaning like it should. That's why you have to wash the dishes before you put
This
it in
is
there.
awful. I want a dishwasher, and I don't care how much I have to pay for it.
Oh, you
I don't
know,
have to do a
I'll
lot
go buy
for.
one for you.
This one doesn't clean the dishes. I have. Oh, it's awful.
Just lend me your credit card. I'll go get some stuff, and a dishwasher for you too.
I don't trust what you'll come up with. Just saying.
Well, I don't have any more room for any more guns or anything,
Mhm.
but I could. This is an old radio that I got over there, still working strong. People that I talk to can't understand why it's still cooking. Well, it is, so I'm still talking to people.
I understand. Sometimes it's hard to let go. That's like I told you, I just got a new phone because this is an S24. The one I had was an S9.
Well, the one that I
I
had
laugh every
before
time you
this
say
was an
that.
A23.
Yeah.
Do not ever let them talk you into that. A meant that. But anyway, it did not last long. So
Right.
when I changed providers, they said, "Well, you're going to get a new phone." I said, "What now?" Well, you're going to get the S23. That's been what,
Well, mine-
6 or 8 months ago.
Mine was misspelling words bad when you text. It's my story.
Remember, Rayford had that flip phone from 1900 that he used before.
Right.
Yeah.
What's wrong with that? It still worked. Even as cracked up
And
as
he-
it was, it worked every time.
And Rayford had gone to on eBay and bought a bunch of these extra phones, and he had them.
Y'all need one? I got some
He's
extra.
got
some
a
extra
whole
batteries.
bunch of
There's
them.
3 of them right there.
No,
by
he had the
top.
little small ones.
That
Oh,
was a
yeah.
flip
Yeah.
phone.
He's
Still- I've
got
still
a bunch
it.
of flip phones. He went
I've
on eBay
got
and
that
bought.
phone that when all else fails, and this pile of
Yeah.
stuff over here that y'all call telephones, when it dies, and I can go online and
mini
I
computers.
can activate my flip phone from my computer and disable this thing, and then I've got all the services back.
Were you going undercover or something? Covert operations?
He's always covert operations.
Not with the cell phone. Oh, good God!
Mine was getting really bad, and I knew it was a matter of time before it was going to die. So, look, I went in there, and I'm going to tell you, if you have to go to Spectrum, I would advise you make an appointment.
Oh, absolutely. Do not go unless you
Do not
do
go
not go.
unless you make an appointment
Yeah.
because you can
It's-
pretty much pick the time you want.
And it's easy when you make an appointment because when you
Just
get
go
there,
online,
your
do
time
it.
is reserved.
Oh,
Oh,
they see you at your time?
They'll see you at your time. I
Okay.
don't care if
Well,
there's
let me
40
tell you.
people that have walked in front of you. You walk in and say, "Yes, I'm here," and then they put your name up there, and then suddenly you're called.
Well, I did
It
everything
irritated
online.
all the people behind you.
And they
Oh, I
kept
know.
sending me reminders, your time is soon.
I got that too.
So when I pulled up in the parking lot,
I like it.
I confirmed that I was there. And I got out of the truck, walked in the door, and they were calling my name already. I was like, yeah.
That's pretty cool.
And I, went through the process of buying the phone. So then they had to transfer my
Yep.
stuff.
Yeah. Well,
That took over an hour because they said it was stuck on my text messages. Do you know that when I got it finally done, and I went shopping at another store, came back, and it was still not done. I had messages from 2019 still on this phone. It took me over an hour to delete everything. Which I
there's
should have done
I was
before I
going to
went
say,
in there.
folks, there's something for you. Get rid of your old messages. First of all, they
Yes.
can be used against you in the court of law. But
Well, you
get rid
can
of your old messages,
Right.
and it will speed up your system.
Well, and then I
It
finally
will
went
quit
through
slowing your system down.
and did the pictures too. But it's something that you should do before you go in there.
Yes, I would strongly
And I didn't
recommend that.
realize I had. She said, "Well, she came out to me. I
That's
had 130,000
76
messages, which
What?
yeah, I didn't quite have that many, but I
She did. Don't let her lie.
it took me quite a while.
I got 2,000 from her yesterday.
That was on Skype.
Oh, well, one of them. That's
And-
one of the
and
things that we've
email.
got going here, folks. We got email,
We have
we got Skype for our own
Right.
personal, and then we got the text messages. And so when my phone goes click and it beeps, I get alerted for each one of those, and
Yes.
they're all sound the same. So I have
Now,
to
wait
check
a
3
minute.
different things.
Do you have Skype on your cell phone?
Yeah.
So you can answer Skype, but you can't answer a text message if we text you. Kelly.
Hold on, I'm looking at something.
Over at the Topsail Times newspaper
Right,
there in
yes, I'll show you.
down at Surf City, Holly Ridge, Topsail, North Topsail, all that covers that area. Dorothy Royal, a good friend of the show here. She called me yesterday and said I need to check out her Facebook page and
Yes, I
feel
saw it.
free to
Yeah.
use whatever with there that you want. So I did because it's Sam's Club right here in Jacksonburg has shut down as of yesterday. Hopefully they've got it operational by now and got things back in order. They shut down their sales of refrigerated and frozen foods. She sent pictures of a photographer
Yeah.
that they use too. And I went ahead and put it up on our Facebook page. Some kind of a report came up and said that damaged transformer caused a loss of power and all food products requiring refrigeration or freezing cannot be sold. So those refrigerators were empty. How long the power had been off, I don't know. There was somebody who posted a note, said out back they had a bunch of stuff being dumped straight into the Dempsey dumpster. Y'all don't go over there and get it. If it's been frozen or refrigerated and the temperatures that we have around here, though they're not excessive right now,
Right.
That
that
would
food's
make
not
you
going to be
sick.
any good.
Yeah.
So you're going to be
Dies.
visiting the morgue or the or the hospital if you go there and eat it. Not good. Of course, Sam's Club sells in bulk. So a lot of food truck operators, a lot of other folks go in there. I've seen people that I know who have small restaurants going in there with big cartloads of stuff.
Right.
And I'm talking about those, looks like something for a construction site, taking big piles of pallets out of food and other things, supplies. So, that put a damper on them. Could put a hurdle on the food
Yesterday,
trucks.
I went through that parking lot. It's the first time I've ever driven through that parking lot that I could actually drive through it without stop,
Well,
go,
maybe
stop,
they
go,
were still,
stop, go.
I guess they were, whatever it was.
There
Anyway,
was so much.
hopefully
many
they will
people
get
there.
that together. And good God, I'm sorry for them. So
But once again, the gas pumps were all lined up and people were stopped in the travel lane where you
Yeah.
could pull out of Sam.
they do that every pay weekend too on a Friday. Don't do it on Friday pay weekends for the military here because you're going to be waiting in line. I went by
What was that?
My headphones.
again. I went by a couple of days ago, and
I'm gonna need you to get your
all
life together.
of the gas pumps were closed. I'm gonna glue you some earbuds in one of these
I
mornings.
hate the earbuds.
I don't care; they'll be glued in, super
Well, the
glued.
thing about it is you're wearing headphones and when you dropped it, the noise in the headphones was enough to make me jump out of my skin.
No.
But the dog jumped at the same time. I
He
didn't know
jumps
what was
at
happening.
everything, but I hear you.
I just figured the money fell out of her pocket. But Sam's all of the gas pumps were roped off on I think it was Tuesday when I went by. Nothing there. Absolutely Monday or Tuesday. So I said, okay, well I've still got gas in here, so I'll come back tomorrow. Well, yesterday I called them on my way out, having seen this problem with
Yeah.
Sam's and inside. So I called and got somebody on the line right away, and they said, Sam's Club, hold a minute. Well, I drove from here all the way to Sam's Club
On hold.
on hold.
Nice.
So but anyway, one of the lines was open. There are two lines of cars, but only one lane of gas pumps. In other words, two gas pumps. They have hoses on each side, of course. Whoa. All the others, people were working on them diligently. They had the gas pump, the pumps themselves open.
Wow.
Was it a computer problem or something else? I don't know. But anyway, I got my gas, so I'm good to go for another couple
Sam's
weeks.
just, they've had a rough week.
It's been a challenge for them. I'm sure of that, and that's my go-to place. Y'all got to get that together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that because Christmas is coming. I ain't going anywhere else. If I can't buy it at Sam's, you don't get it.
Christmas. Oh, I thought 7-Eleven was
Well, I
your
don't know
It used
what,
to be.
Christmas shopping
what his
store.
place where he don't do it till December 24th
Yeah, I
at
know.
9 a.m.
No, 6 p.m.
Oh,
6
oh,
p.m.
you
right
even
before
wait
they
that way.
close.
Nice.
Well, in Wilmington, all the stores that you could go to before Sam's Days, they were closing at 7.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd go at 6. Not as much to choose from, so you could get it, whatever it is. And then on the way out of there, if I couldn't find what I needed in an hour, I stopped by in those days at 7-Eleven to that grab table for $1.
That's so lame.
Yeah.
Wow, they got good stuff there.
It's just lame.
No.
Yeah. Geez. Well, it is what it is for me. You know how that is. Oh,
Mine's
let's
gotten
see.
easy shopping because my kids, they're at that age now. They don't want anything but money.
No, mine give me lists.
Yeah.
I don't read that stuff.
Oh, I'd rather get them what I know they want or need versus some whatever.
Right.
So, and I like the shopping. So,
Yeah, yeah.
all about
Well,
it.
my grandkids are, one's in college now and one's a teenager. So you can't buy them anything that they will.
Hardee's has got
Actually
gift
want.
cards. Just buy them.
Nobody
some.
eats at Hardee's, Rayford, but you.
Those kids do.
No, my
And they're in
granddaughter,
college, they do.
my granddaughter
They'll eat
last
anything.
Christmas, she requested Starbucks cards.
That's what.
Well, you got to
Allison-
have a Starbucks card for that
Yep.
based on the prices. Good Lord. Paying $10 for a drink.
$10 for a cup of
Huh.
coffee with caramel in it.
The Marine Forecast, sponsored by Community Prevention Services of Jacksonville. Today's news of gloom and doom with warring factions in the Middle East, with uprisings in Africa, with many of us having to deal with family members dying from opioid overdoses, with fears that our children or grandchildren will somehow succumb to peer pressures and take what they think. And I use that word loosely. What they think is a souped up, over the counter pain pill. There's no wonder our nerves are on end.
Yeah.
Community Prevention Services can help you with your anxiety and educate you on what to be looking for when you're dealing with your kids. There's no better time than now to get started. We wish we could say that the world situation will get better. The best we can do is hope. But the counselors at Community Prevention Services can help prepare you and help you cope with the stress and anxiety of today, and hopefully you can at least find a degree of relief. Community Prevention Services, a locally owned and operated company located at 918 Henderson Drive. Give them a call, set up a time to meet and talk. You'll be happy you did. 910-353-0972, 910-353-0972. Offshore today, it's time to get ready to take advantage of some great fishing weather. Reports of nice catches of Spanish and king mackerel in the waters not too far from New River Inlet, and the conditions will make the trip there and back pleasurable. Northerly winds today, 5 to 10 knots, becoming northeasterly this afternoon. Seas only 2 to 4 feet, 3-foot waves from the east, 9 seconds apart. You're looking at me dirty. Sounds and rivers of light chop, becoming flat this afternoon. Tomorrow, northerly winds 10 to 15 knots, becoming northeasterly 5 to 10 in the afternoon, 2 to 3 footers. Sounds and rivers of moderate chop, diminishing to a light chop in the afternoon tomorrow. Saturday, northerly winds again, only about 10 knots east, 2 to 4 feet. Sounds and rivers a light chop. All good, but keep your eyes on the ocean. Conditions for Sunday might be a little challenging, or at least a little less comfortable getting there. Know your boat and what it can handle before you go.
Well, I first want to point out that it's 99% humidity outside.
It's thick.
Yeah, just want to state that for everybody. Today, showers and thunderstorms likely, mainly after 3 p.m. Otherwise, mostly cloudy, a high of 81. There is still a little bit of patchy fog this morning that should burn off around 8 a.m. There is a 60% chance of rain today. Tonight, mostly cloudy, low of 65. Tomorrow, once again, patchy fog before 8 a.m. Otherwise, mostly sunny, a high of 83. Tomorrow night, mostly clear, low of 63. And on Saturday, sunny, high of 83.
Not excessively hot.
Right.
No.
Seasonal. So
I-
we're okay.
yeah.
Love it.
That
love
99%
it, love
humidity is
That's thick.
it, love it.
but it doesn't feel overly humid.
It did to me when
But,
I walked
but
out
it's
there.
humid, but it's not.
Mm.
I was a little surprised when I saw that it's 99%.
Well, it
Right.
was just enough drizzle out this morning. You had to run your
Same.
wipers.
Yep, same on
And
the
it
way
was
here.
aggravating because the first wipe take the rain off, second wipe scratches across it.
Mhm.
You know how it does. It's
I know.
just not enough to keep the wipers quiet.
I understand. Might be time for a change in your wiper blades coming up.
Yeah, soon,
Okay.
soon.
Got a shock for the vice president. The all-powerful Teamsters Union.
Yeah.
The
saw that.
all-powerful Teamsters Union has decided not to endorse either presidential candidate this time around. In the last presidential election, the Teamsters chose to endorse Joe Biden. A telephone survey of many union members finds a significant majority planning to vote for Donald Trump.
I saw that. Yeah.
This is the first time since 1996 that the union has declined to support any presidential candidate.
Mhm.
So what does that say for Harris? Trump has stated on more than one occasion that he would fire striking union members, and they're still going to vote for him. You would think that would be the kiss of death among Teamsters by choosing to pick Harris over Trump to endorse. They would not likely set too well with the majority of the Teamsters who are out there saying, I'm going to vote for Trump.
Mm-hmm.
I'm guessing the union leaders would fear for their jobs if they did that. After all, they're elected by the union members. If they pick a side in this hotly contested race going against the wishes of the majority, that would be a bad plan for them. Best to sit this election out, no doubt. The union leaders probably did the best thing. It will be interesting to see what happens in the next couple of months. I think this is a pretty big deal.
I think it's a
Personally,
huge deal.
they got over 1 million members.
And the fact that the upper echelon is not picking a side because they clearly know they may be, well, we want to pick Harris. However, now that they somehow know that their members aren't pro
They don't
Harris,
want it. They're not
they're
gonna
like, we're not
They
going to do
won't
it.
support the union hierarchy if they do that. And
Correct.
That would be the kiss of death, too.
Absolutely.
Makes me wonder what some of the other
Hmm.
powerful unions in this country
Yeah.
will be doing next. I wonder if they will take heed here.
Exactly.
Well, it
Yeah.
surprises me that unions even go public with a preference like that. I know that.
Well, they hope to influence not
I
only
think
their
they're trying
union
to-
members, but everybody else,
Right.
too.
well, I think
I know.
they're trying to do it for influence.
I know being once a member of the union and then being against the union, well, not against the union, but having to be on the other side, in the management side at the post office.
Yeah.
We were, of course, we're under the Hatch Act. We're not allowed to do any political thing at all. But there has been times in the past where the APWU has leaned towards a particular presidential candidate.
American Postal Workers Union,
It's
something like that.
American Postal Workers Union. Yeah, APWU.
I got it
Something to
right.
think about. I was a rural carrier union and a steward, and then of course became management.
Had
So
a sad case down there in Brunswick County. An elderly
Oh,
man drove
yes.
around a police
Oh,
barricade and
man.
drowned shortly after midnight, Monday night, early Tuesday morning. Sheriff's deputies with their blue lights going had blocked off Highway 211 near Stone Chimney Road. I know exactly where that is, but the highway patrol says the man went around the roadblock 12:15 in the morning.
listen,
Richard Robinson's compact SUV became fully submerged, disappearing in the floodwaters at the Lockwood Folly River Bridge. Despite efforts from a swift water rescue team, the 80-year-old man's car with him inside wasn't found until Wednesday by the Brunswick County Sheriff's Office dive team. Please, how many times do we need to say, do not drive through flooded streets or highways? Matters not if you've made that trip 1 million times. When the water comes in, you have no idea what it's doing underneath the pavement that you have been driving on in the past. You don't know. Water even passing over a roadway is swift moving, they call it. And when it's swift moving, your car doesn't stand much of a chance. It will be picked up and moved. You think you got a heavy car, you don't.
Mm-mm.
There have been tractor trailer rigs
Mhm.
at some of the washouts
Yep.
who have been sent right on down the river. Be careful out there. Now, I'm not picking on this guy because he was 80 years of age, coming home, probably doing his best, probably frustrated, irritated that all the roads were blocked. Everything was going wrong for him. It's 12:15 in the morning, right after midnight. And I'm trying to get home. I'm all alone. I may live alone. My wife may be waiting for me. And I have not been able to get home since 4:00 this afternoon or whenever. That may be the case. I don't know. But you think about that before you condemn this dude.
But don't drive
But just
around
don't do it.
barriers.
Don't do
Guys, just don't do it.
Yeah, that's happened here. It's happened everywhere in the world. Those blue lights are there for your safety.
right?
Okay.
And my
There's
first
a
thought
reason for it.
was, why? Why did you not take heed? But then you brought up the good
Yeah.
other side of it. You know that he's
Think like
older.
he was doing.
Maybe he was
was
disoriented. He
confused.
could have been disoriented.
All of the above.
Yes,
At 12:15 in the morning, depends upon how long he's been gone from his home.
Yeah.
that's right.
Or maybe he left his home and he did not know where he was going either. And he just got out on a road Maybe he was exasperated. I don't know. You just,
It's very sad.
we don't know what we don't know, but I do not condemn him.
Right.
For doing it.
And you're right about that. I mean, we don't know what kind of condition he was in.
Nope.
Could have been very confused.
Kentucky State Police are working to confirm the identity of a body found in the vicinity where a man opened fire nearly 2 weeks ago on cars on Interstate 75, injured several people before he took off into the woods, getting away from the police. The official news release started out with, Kentucky State Police found the body up. No, well, facts are different. Fact is, a couple stumbled on what they thought was to be a dead body in the woods while live streaming for their YouTube account.
Did you watch
I
it? YouTube?
watched that and I'm like, what are y'all? Who puts this stuff
That was-
live on TV?
That
Period.
was and Sheila McCoy.
Oh,
They have a podcast.
yeah. And tell them what the title of the podcast or where he goes.
Oh, it's,
Hartfield and McCoy's.
yeah, Hatfield and McCoy
Hatfield and McCoy's.
Museum Adventures, I think is what it
Something
was.
like that. So they were
Oh, wow.
live streaming this thing for a long time, an excessively long period of time, and turning the camera sideways and up and down. Hey, Jack or Joe, whatever your name is. Have you looked over the boy? They smell. I can smell. It stinks over
She
here.
kept saying, "My Lanta,
my
my
land.
Lanta,
Yeah.
that smell, my Lanta," and I'm like, "What?" And I guess
Well,
she's
They called the popo, who, when they
Yes.
got there, took charge of the scene. Officers had searched that area for quite some time after the shootings, they said. They had found a rifle, an AR-15, and a car. It was registered to the guy they have identified as likely the shooter, 32-year-old Joseph Couch. They're operating right now, of course, as though the body is Couch, but an autopsy will be conducted to confirm that. 2 weeks. Did you see the closing frame on there?
yes, I did.
2 weeks. 2 weeks in the open, this time of year, in a swampy area, does not preserve a body very well. I have been there.
Well, you know what
Been
made
there.
them search that area? The buzzards. They kept seeing the buzzards.
That's the sign. But the buzzards hang around deer. I mean, this is a heavily wooded area.
Right. They said it could have been an animal at the time they were looking. But
They were thinking it probably
Mhm.
was, but they also knew this was where the dude disappeared, so they kept on going. I'm guessing the area is overgrown now. They had, plowing through it, and the guy was
Yes.
carrying a machete, which in certain conditions can hide a body. I've seen that too. But a couple out for a walk stumbled on it. I would have thought dogs would have been brought in immediately 2 weeks ago when this guy just disappeared into the woods. They found his car, found his
Yes.
gun. So you would presume, not assume, presume that he, as a possibility, he went into the woods. Send the dogs. Send in the dogs. It's in Kentucky. I'm sure they've got some bloodhounds somewhere.
Ugh.
From information that's coming out, you kind of want to assume that Couch may have shot himself with his rifle. I don't know the cause of death. That will be determined by an autopsy, but they found his gun, so I doubt if he shot himself.
unless he had another one,
Unless
a
he had a
small one
handgun
on
or
his
something.
person, yes.
In that case, if he had, when they found the rifle, they should have found the body. Of course, unless, yes, I use qualifiers. Wild animals move the body. I've watched. We investigated a case that started here in Onslow County, ended up in Carteret County. Yeah, in the woods in Carteret County, where wild dogs were moving the body around. A lot of questions yet to be answered. A lot of questions out there. Sextortion. You ever heard that term?
Yeah.
Yes.
You might think it's fun, but law enforcement officers don't think so, and they know it's not harmless. And so does a former Marine assigned to Cherry Point. He's getting the point, maybe, I hope. He faces sentences that could see him spending the rest of his natural life in prison. A federal jury in Wilmington convicted Anthony Fritzinger on 5 counts of production of child pornography, 4 counts of online exploitation of a minor, 1 count of possession of child pornography, which included a victim under 12, and 2 counts of extortion. This is the one that got me. This is the sextortion part. NCIS investigators found Fritzinger's extensive online activities of stalking, soliciting, and extorting underage victims in order to get sexual images of them. In one case, the 25-year-old Marine at that time, now ex, tried to extort an 18-year-old girl, now 18, online to send him naked pictures by threatening to distribute naked pictures she had sent him when she was underage. Now, that's a brilliant move, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
He goes back against her because he's got pictures of her that she sent him when she was years earlier. How long has this dude been doing this? He kept track of her that long?
Yeah.
And he sent pictures, and he sent if you do not send me some more naked pictures of you today, then I'm going to release the images that I've got of you from the last time.
Well, that would be dumb on his part to begin with, considering they were of a minor. What a moron this guy is. He won't last long in prison.
The ex-Marine used teen dating websites like Spot a Friend and MyLOL.com to find potential victims, sometimes posing as a teenage girl. Investigators say he then began online relationships with the victims on Snapchat and Instagram. I don't have access to either, don't want it. Mr. and Mrs. Parent, are you paying attention? Your children could very well fall victim to scums like this. You can rest assured he's not the only one out there. I can call him a scum because a jury has found him guilty of being that and more. Mm-hmm. Special agent in charge, Kelly Parrish of the NCIS Carolinas Field Office, says Fritzinger must be held accountable for the predatory crimes he has committed against children, the most vulnerable members of our society. I'll add that this guy needs to be removed from this free society and ordered to spend forever locked away in the bowels of a prison that is dark, cold, and dangerous for the rest of his natural life. He needs to be locked away with the people just like him.
Oh, yeah.
They're all predators. They cannot people outside. Let them prey on the people inside.
I just don't understand why people aren't smart enough. There's this one
Because they're kids.
person
And they think they're talking to a teenage girl.
She's a book author, and she had sent me a friend request. This was a while back. I looked at her page. I kind of looked at her, and we had a lot of mutual friends, and she had a lot of friends. I knew she was real. So I accepted it and kind of been following her a little bit. But then she started posting this crazy stuff. Kevin Costner and her have fallen in love.
Oh, God. Well,
and they're going to get married.
Oh, please.
That's crazy.
So
It's probably not the real her.
no, it's the real her, but she got scammed by one of these scammers that was posing. Come to find out, she just posted on there recently because everybody was telling her, look, lady, this guy's not real. Kevin Costner is not going to have an internet relationship with you and then proclaim love. And she was supposed to go work for him, et cetera, et cetera. Well, just
you'd be surprised.
You got to be desperate.
She just put on there the other day that she puts a post out there and says, Facebook fraud department. That's all it said. And if you look on the comments, she goes into the comments saying that she wants them to do something about the $2,000 she sent Kevin Costner. And we're all
good
like,
luck on that one.
I know someone that did it with Johnny Depp. The same scam. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Oh,
but
Lord,
we're
Lord.
talking sending thousands of dollars.
And if
Parents.
if the first ask for money,
These were senior. This
I
person I'm talking about is a
understand.
senior citizen.
when they start asking for money, or they start asking if you've ever done crypto,
What's that?
Cryptocurrency.
Oh,
yeah,
cryptocurrency,
cryptocurrency, yes. Right then, and look,
What part of Nigeria you living in, bud? Or Romania?
Well, some of them,
Indonesia? God,
in
you'd be
the
surprised.
case of the person I'm thinking of, because it's the mother of somebody that I know, they would have someone call to be pretending to be like their agent. I mean, it was these
I
long,
can
see
drawn
that.
out
God, that's
stuff.
pretty extravagant.
Oh, it was like high tech.
I
It
can
was
show
ridiculous.
you text right now
Yeah.
from an agent for Dan Basque,
Mhm.
that Brazilian singer that I like, saying, Dan wanted me to get up with you. And I'm like,
Oh, I bet he
okay.
did.
I have probably got 9 different guys by the same name right now in my messages. I just ignore them.
Well, Rayford, to what you were talking about the online stuff, parents have to, they have to be very diligent. And what's happening now is a lot of the predators are using like the online gaming sites that the kids use, even like Roblox, which is hugely popular with elementary and middle school kids, but definitely elementary school.
Roadblocks.
It's Roblox. So they go
like
in.
the
It's like
Roblox
online
thing?
gaming. No. You can
Oh,
go online and play, but you can play. Like I can play with some kid in Indiana. I mean, it's just online, and you play as teams or play as individuals or whatever. But what is happening is a lot of pedophiles are going on
Yep.
there, and they are, and kids, because pedophiles, especially ones that they're what I call professional pedophile. I mean, they're very, for lack of a better term, good at gleaming information that they need from the kid.
Yep.
They do it so innocently. The kid does. I mean, they're revealing codes to houses, how to get in,
Mhm.
what time parents are at work, and the kids the questions are asked so innocently they don't realize. And I had a parent recently of a client had to take their kids. They took all their media because of that. And parents work in an industry where they have contact with kids that have been abused, and they're currently dealing with some kids that were victims of human trafficking, and it started through online communication, and it led to being assaulted, taken, etc. I mean, it's all, and this is here. Like, let me say,
I
well, I'm not in
understand.
another area. This is here, and so now the parent is fearful. I mean, I don't blame the parents. You need to know what your kids are looking at.
Parents, I'm going to give you a warning here. This is real life here.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you about the thing we did, right? Because back in the TV days,
Mhm.
as a news director, I decided I was hearing all these reports. This is before all the internet gaming
Yeah.
crap that's out there, okay?
Yeah.
There was internet, plenty of
Mhm.
that going around, but not to the extent that it is today where people were taking advantage. The
Yeah.
predators were not there at that time. They may have been, but I didn't know it. Anyway, so decided to talk to some parents, and I did. They were all from one school, and I just met with them. Those who volunteered, moms and dads together, came into a room, and we sat down and chatted. Would your child, and I gave them a scenario,
Mhm.
would your child fall for this? And they said, oh, absolutely not. We've had
Yeah.
chats with them. We've
Mhm.
told them all about, no, they wouldn't do that.
Mhm.
Okay, so I get up with a former narcotics officer who worked undercover a lot, a scroungy looking dude.
Mhm.
I'm sure you've seen Robin kind
I
of like
was.
that.
Yep.
I've been like that.
Mhm.
But I got this really scroungy looking dude.
Mhm.
Made arrangements for the parents. I think there were 6 of them. The moms, no dads were involved. They were working. Right after school, they would stay behind, and I made arrangements with the school.
Mhm.
The parents, the moms would go there, and they would let their kids play on the playground with the school's permission after school. It was a normal thing, by the way. They could do that. So I just took advantage of that opportunity and had these kids out there playing on the playground. The moms, on cue, got up and go inside the school on a pretext of doing something else. Though the kids couldn't see them, but they were all out there on the playground. Well, this one dude, the scroungy dude, he walks over to them and says, hey guys, kids, come over here. I got something for you. He had a bag. He had some, believe it or not, it looked like gold dollars in it,
Yeah.
coins. It was fake, but it was wrapped around chocolate.
Yeah.
So he was giving those to the kids. Said, hey, come on over here. I got something in my car over in the wooded area.
Yeah.
Secreted from public view. You couldn't even see it from the school.
Right.
And suddenly he had, like Pied Piper, he had 5 of the 6 kids followed him over there.
Yeah.
The other one hauled butt, went into the school
Mhm.
and sounded the alarm.
Yeah.
In the meantime, he had them standing at his car. Would you all like? I got some money. We can take a ride and go get some money. All of them were good to go with that.
Yeah.
And the parents, when they saw the video,
but they were horrified.
They were turning white.
Yeah.
Their face was just ashen white.
Because you know, as parents, we've all given our kids that talk, but you would be surprised at how persuasive, especially a pedophile is.
A con man.
Yeah, but they
Narcotics officers are con man. Give me a break.
Yeah.
You understand?
Oh, absolutely.
But
yeah, but they
So
know
are
how.
con men.
Yes, and they know how someone that's going to use a kid for human trafficking, for example, they know. Like you know, you would say, my kid would never do that. They would never fall for that. You don't understand.
buddy.
They don't just come out and say it. It is so subtle most of the time that these kids do not know until it's too late. I mean, and this is why I say to parents, read the text messages, you know, your kids are sending to people, because there's, especially in middle school, there's a lot of sexting that goes on, which can get your kid arrested. Because
if that
it's
if that
disseminating
phone,
child
you're
porn.
paying for that phone, you own the rights to that phone.
Yeah.
You can do anything you want with that phone, including taking it away, looking at everything that's on there.
Mhm.
You can go to your provider and anything that may have been arrested. You can say, Mr. Provider, at whatever service
Mm-hmm.
it is, I want to see all of the messages that were sent on to this phone
Yeah.
and from this phone.
Well,
You can do that.
I've known parents that have started looking at their kids' phones and realized their kids were being bullied by other kids, and the kids hadn't said a word. They couldn't figure out why they would get upset, get sick, didn't want to go to school.
Yep.
But they found out that way. But I mean, other things too, weirdos texting them,
Oh, yeah.
who's this, and check your, you know, if your kid won't give you their phone to check, one,
Then
you're
take
paying
it.
for it,
Then
snatch
take
it.
Yeah.
But two, you might want to figure out why. But check text messages, check all the sites, you know, check TikTok. And where do you think these kids are getting these TikTok challenges from? From TikTok. You know, they're jumping in front of cars and eating and drinking stuff they shouldn't be. I mean, there's so many challenges, and these kids get caught up in hype because understand, because of YouTube, especially because of YouTube, kids want to be YouTube famous. One of the first things I ask new kid clients when they come in for, you know, to be a client is, what do you want to be when you grow up? Just because I'm
A
learning
YouTuber.
about the kid. 9 out of 10, I've been started keeping a tally of it. 9 out of 10 kids were in the past 8 months. 9 out of 10 new kid clients have said, I want to be a YouTuber, because they 1 out of a million gets famous. But I'm like, well, what's your backup plan? And they look at me like deer in headlights. Like, what do you mean? Like, because they have this grand illusion that I'm gonna go make some YouTube videos and I'm gonna get rich and famous, and it doesn't work that way. But they're so caught up with this, the media, and like I said, that kid last week that was looking at that Traumatizing Games website. I mean, you know, this kid's 12. I never heard of it, and I'm 55, and I check social media for, you know, client purposes and everything else. I never heard of a website or YouTube videos called Traumatizing Games. I mean, the client talking about the Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey movie sounds innocent. Hey, folks, go online and look at that movie.
I don't know whether they're still doing it or not. Probably not, since Craigslist came under a lot of scrutiny.
Oh, yes.
The prostitution that was rampant there was easy to spot. I mean, disgustingly easy to spot.
Yeah.
The sale of drugs. These guys who are offering, and they put the little code word in there somewhere in the body of their sentence. You know what the code word was? It's 3 numbers, 3 digits. You know what that code word was? 420.
Yeah,
Duh.
for marijuana. Yeah.
Like,
Mhm.
even old people like me don't
Yeah,
get that.
yeah.
Back in the day, when I was much younger, when I was one of the people who was looking at all of these sites and looking, I mean, I don't want to say that I could set people up,
Yeah.
but people that were offering things, and they would finally say, yeah, and you say, okay, where can I go and how much cash do I need?
Mm-hmm.
That was always a cue for these people.
Correct,
They
yeah.
knew that, okay, you're good to go now because you understand the game.
Mm-hmm.
Show up there with the cash, or not me, but somebody else did, and you know what? Come along with me, Bubba. You have screwed up royally.
Well, that brings up a good point. I'm glad you brought that up.
That's
Robert.
not, by the way, entrapment, not according to
No.
the Supreme Court.
But the other thing is, you know, a lot Facebook Marketplace is, if you're trying to sell an item or buy one. But if you go to do that, if you live here in Onslow County, I highly suggest, for example, you live here in Jacksonville, Jacksonville Police Department in the parking
Safe
lot has
area.
a very specialized area specifically
Cameras.
for people that are made online, meeting up for purchases.
Yep.
Utilize that.
Yep.
Don't, because you hear stories all the time of people getting robbed, shot, killed.
we
It's
just
happened.
talked about that a couple months ago. That lady, where is it? Raleigh, Durham,
And they
Fayetteville,
got-
somewhere. She went to go meet a guy off a marketplace to
Mhm.
buy something. He walked up and killed her.
Yeah, it happened last
car.
week somewhere. I mean, so if you're going to do that here, meet them at JPD's parking lot. It's a very nice area set up. I mean, it is.
What if
Monitored.
you got big pieces of furniture or something like that to sell?
Well, how are you going to get it
Lock and load
anyway?
when they
You know what I
come
mean?
to the
They're
house.
going
Yeah.
to have to come to the house to look at
Yeah,
it.
I'd go with a weapon, or I would.
Oh, I
Yeah.
guarantee you that. Give
Yeah.
me a break.
Um,
That's me,
but
but
some
I don't
people
suggest that
don't.
for
You'd be
everybody.
surprised
I
how
don't
many people
suggest
don't own weapons. Razor.
I don't suggest that for everybody
Yeah.
because they don't, they
Right.
take it away from you and use it against you.
Yeah,
Right.
well, it depends on who you are. Yeah.
Or you may accidentally shoot somebody that
Yeah.
you shouldn't have shot.
Mm-hmm.
So, no, I don't
But
really
yeah, or
recommend
take
that at all.
someone else with you.
Take-
Don't go alone,
Never go
Yeah.
alone to these drop
Yeah.
locations.
especially if you're older.
Yeah.
Don't go alone where you could be overpowered.
You got
Yeah.
everybody's got a cop friend.
Yeah.
Sooner or later, they're off duty. Come along.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
They can carry a
definitely.
gun with
Arrange
them.
to
They're
meet
trained.
at a public place.
Uh-huh.
A lot of people around. Take a
Yeah.
friend with you.
Uh-huh.
And don't expect it to always be what they say it is too.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
hardly used.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, there's rust all
and be
over it.
wary about buying like couches and stuff. All I can think of is bed bugs.
Oh,
like
yeah.
I just,
I won't buy
that makes
furniture
me-
like
Oh,
that.
now you've
Yeah.
done it again.
yeah,
Yep, here we
I
go.
know. Yeah.
There they are.
But I want
Well,
to
you
brag
t-
on my grandson real quick.
Okay.
Y'all know he's neurodivergent, and he got a cell phone. He didn't want it. My daughter's like, it was given to him for a very specific purpose.
So she could
But
call
it's on
him.
lockdown and whatever. He could care less about this thing. But I did get my first text from him yesterday.
Oh,
Because,
really?
he's 10. And he said, Nana, you make my heart gush.
Oh,
Made me
my
cry. I think I've read that thing about 100 times since I love this kid so much. But yeah, it was
So
very
you're-
sweet. So he's
It's
learned.
now being printing out 20 by 30 inches and it's going on the
Oh,
wall,
I'm
right?
telling you, I'm gonna make that thing poster size. But what's gonna happen now? And I'm gonna predict. I'm going on record as saying I know what's coming. Nana, can you order me some DoorDash? He has two favorite spots: Red Robin and Mika Banya. And 10-1, I'll get a text.
He likes Red Robin because of Robin's name.
No, he likes Red Robin's kids pizza with the fries
Wow.
and the chocolate milk. That's his go-to.
Well, why don't you
Pizza,
just tell him to come
fries,
by
and
and see
chocolate milk.
Robin and
Mhm.
let Robin make it for him?
Robin doesn't cook it. No way. He
Well,
even
he
Kyla
would
knows
for
not to
him.
eat that.
He would learn how for
No,
him.
he
would.
Does
would.
he ever make a sandwich?
Who?
Robin.
No.
Really?
I mean, he has once or twice, but Robin's not. Yeah, no. Robin's idea of making a sandwich is going to Subway or Firehouse or Jersey Mike's.
Excuse me.
He likes
Robin, my son, I
Yeah,
gotta have a
that's his
chat with
version
you.
of a sandwich.
Gotta have a long chat with you.
Well, you're talking about scams. There's a new scam that's out now. It's called a brushing
A what?
scam.
A
A
brushing.
brushing
Make him
scam.
brush my hair?
And
Yeah.
that's where you'll receive something in the mail unsolicited.
Oh yeah,
Like
good
a
luck on
woman in Fuquay Varina got what appeared to be a very fancy diamond ring,
Uh-huh.
which it wasn't real. She went on the Facebook because there was a return name on there, return name and
No.
address, and started looking it up. And the first thing she came across is the Cody ring, which this guy Cody sent it to her. And so she knew then it was a scam. But how it works is you will get sent some piece of jewelry or something nice of value that
Junk.
you think it's really junk, it's fake. And in that box is a QR code.
Oh,
because
do not.
It said, you're receiving this free,
Of course,
blah,
I don't
blah,
know how,
blah.
but
But
do
if
not.
you'll go ahead and scan this QR code, it'll register you for the warranty on the ring and give you, you put you right in there. And so she knew then not to scan it, but it's a brushing scam. It's going around. Postal inspections is involved.
So what
in
do they
that.
do
So
when
What,
they
what
do
happens
this?
when you scan the code? Like,
Yeah.
what
it goes in there and it takes all your information.
like what kind of information?
Well, you're going to use your phone more
Yeah.
than likely, right?
So you got your
It
phone
gives
number.
the hackers access to get inside your phone and get your personal information.
Gotcha. Because if you've got credit cards or bank accounts stored in there,
That's
okay,
right.
it makes sense.
That's right.
Well, I
They
don't
clean
scan
you out.
QR codes anyway.
I don't do
Right.
QR codes.
I mean, not
I
in a
didn't
box of something I didn't order.
I didn't even know what they were.
Right.
They say it on TV all the time. You're looking at TV and the commercial pops up
Mhm.
right in the middle of whatever I'm watching. scan this code, yada, yada.
Like, who has time to get
First of all, I don't want to.
QR code scanner on your phone and get it?
Have I got one of those?
No, you have to download them. Their apps.
I haven't. I do. I mean,
Oh, I don't got
when
one.
I'm trying to get on my
Amazon,
phone,
you
I
have
mean,
to.
when I'm get on my smart TV downstairs,
Mhm.
especially, I have to sometimes scan it when it kicks me out of one of my apps on my TV.
Right.
But I mean, it just
Right.
so that's a little bit different.
That's like if you
Yeah.
download, say, Peacock,
Mhm.
the channel Peacock on your smart
what?
TV.
Yeah,
It's a channel, Peacock,
yeah,
and you
It's
down,
NBC,
It's an
yeah.
NBC channel.
yeah,
Get it? Peacock, NBC.
yeah. That's how I watch some of my British sporting events.
But
yeah.
it comes up on your smart TV. Scan this QR code, so you got to run to the TV and scan
You
it,
do.
and then the phone recognizes you and your TV, and then it's just crazy.
Well, you
It's
know,
just
you
the way
can.
it is.
You go to Sam's Club. You can shop at Sam's Club and pay for your stuff just by
My
But you
wife
put it
does
in
scanning
your
that.
cart.
on your little scanner.
My wife does that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
I
you don't
do
even have
not
to
do
pay. You
that.
bypass the line, the whole line yards. Yeah.
No. I get up there and I scan my own stuff in with their stuff. When I go through, I'm just practicing to be, just in case I need a job,
Mhm.
to be a checkout person. Because I know how to scan pretty fast now.
Oh yeah, I
I can get her done.
I prefer doing that. I
Well, I
really
do,
do.
too.
Last time I was in Walmart, I went in the break room and took a break. I figured I was.
You ever
entitled.
gone to Sam's
That's
and
right. You're an employee. Yeah. Yeah.
did you ever scan a bunch of stuff at Sam's and get all the way from the scanner after you pay and all that sort of, all the way out there to where they ask you for your thing so they can scan it to
And
verify?
which bag did you put it in?
No. God, that's still back there at the cash register. I'll be right back.
No, I mean,
I've
like-
done it once, and I've seen a lot of other people do it, and I just laugh at them now.
Right.
I have
Because
to
I
go to
like that
Sam's
myself.
Club. They have a Christmas item out that I want.
Oh no,
They got a
I'm
bunch
gonna
of Christmas
go with
stuff
you.
there.
Mhm.
Let's go together.
Yeah.
Oh God,
They got a.
We'll be
that,
shopping.
that will be dangerous.
I want it for my yard. I need to get. Last year I went to go get it, and I waited too late. That's why I've got to get my life together and go ahead and go.
I told you I stopped
Yeah.
putting decorations out years ago because it freaked me out every night having to get up and look out the window to see if they were still there. I used to have 2 lit deer.
Mhm.
Well, not say it that way. 2 deer that light up,
Yeah,
and
Yeah.
one was a big deer and a little deer.
I had
And
that.
I'd go out in the mornings, and
Oh, yeah, people were.
they were
were
putting them on
posing
top of
deer.
each other.
Yeah.
Like they
Wow.
were misbehaving, and it just drove me crazy. So I quit putting decorations out. But maybe I'll do it this year.
I do it. My grandson
Now that I have
challenges me.
cameras all over the place.
Well,
Last year I
it's-
didn't do a good job with Halloween. He said my yard looked lame, Nana. The yard is lame.
Look, my
So,
neighbor.
I had to up my game.
I put in a new potty in my big bathroom since
Uh-huh.
I was renovating. I got one of those
Did
higher
you decorate
ones.
that too?
Well, my neighbor was
I
going
bought
to
one. That
take it,
thing's amazing.
put it in their yard, and put a skeleton on it for Halloween.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah, I was like, you gonna? I'm not putting it in my yard.
That's awesome. That's a great idea. But yeah, my grandson, he lets me know very quickly if I don't decorate the yard appropriately. So I've got a bunch of Halloween stuff now,
Well,
and
tell him to do it.
he helps me.
Don't just tell him
Yeah.
to handle it. Give you
No,
the
he's
plan.
like,
and-
Nana, it's
and let's get on
lame.
it.
Your yard
I'll
looks
tell you,
lame.
there's nothing worse than
Yeah.
walking in a store and you've got the devils
Mhm.
facing the Christmas angels,
Mhm.
on
who's,
one
who's
aisle.
winning?
And then you walk down the aisle and you get this from one of those skeletons that just
Cowboys
goes
on.
off.
Lowe's has that.
It goes off as you walk by. You throw your stuff. You're like, what in the world? And it's just one of those skeletons laughing
That sounds like Cowboy was there.
at you.
Justice at work in a system that needs a little special attention these days. So this guy in Lenore County, out on bond, awaiting trial for a shooting last month,
Okay.
is again the target of cops because they say he stole a car from a dealership in Kinston on Tuesday.
Oh yeah. that'll
Wait,
do
is he
it.
out on bond?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Stand by. Warrants have been issued charging 37-year-old Ryan Everett of LaGrange with felony larceny from a person, and felony larceny of a motor vehicle. He was arrested back on August 6th for a shooting in LaGrange. This is where it's going to start getting good. Everett was given a bond, secured $65,000 on the 9 charges, and then he was released on bond. Lenore County authorities would like some help finding the absconder along with the missing car, presumably so he can appear again before a magistrate to have his bond set. Wonder how high that bond will be or not. Everett I go back to see Mr. Everett's history. Everett has served a bit over 5 years total time behind bars
Wow.
for felony breaking and entering a house of worship, multiple counts of breaking into a house of worship, 7 counts of breaking into automobiles, some drug charges, underage drinking when he was underage, and shoplifting. I probably missed a few while I was scrolling through his record, and now they're trying to arrest him again.
Well, they got to find him, apparently.
And once they find him,
Mhm.
and then they will take him before a magistrate, and the magistrate will set bond. No, if I was the arresting officer, I would be waiting until the Superior Court judge came to town or was on the bench,
Mhm.
and I would take my paperwork to him and request him or her for a bail. And here is his record, Your Honor.
Mhm.
Now, is he a flight risk? Oh, absolutely.
Mhm.
Then set that bond at something we call no bond or $5 million cash. Okay, we got a caller.
It's Miller time.
It's Miller time. Hello, Chris. How are you?
Hey, good morning, my friends. How's everybody doing this morning?
Okay.
Good.
We're on this side of the dirt so far. Go ahead.
I'm glad. Another good show as always. And in Rayford, I did want to give you a little bit of a suggestion. You were talking about some intro music, maybe leading once y'all go forward into the new brand of shows and everything. So maybe some James Bond music would be great. There's some Shirley Bassey, some of those songs, or
I like it.
There's a bunch of that stuff.
Carly Simon, Nobody Does It Better, would probably be a good song. And and I know you're a Duran Duran fan, Rayford, so maybe use one of the Duran Duran songs that they have there.
He's like, who?
I didn't say who. I know who Duran Duran
It was
is
that
or
look
was.
on your face, like, what? Who?
What would be your favorite James Bond music background?
I would probably say the one by Carly Simon is probably the best intro one, in my opinion, leading up to a James Bond song. But the Goldfinger song by Shirley Bassey.
I like that one.
Yep, Goldfinger from Russia with Love was a great one. I mean, there's some. Madonna had one, so it's if you really look back at and listen to the songs, there's some great songs, and obviously the early ones are the best movies overall. But there's just a great series overall.
All right. Okay, tomorrow night, a little over 24 hours, closer to 35 hours. We're going to be over at the Cardinal Stadium. We'll be there earlier than that because there should be a crowd. And a whole bunch of old people are going to be there too.
Hey.
Well, you're younger than me, so I can call you old. From the class of 1941.
It's a big class reunion.
What class is it?
I'd rather not say.
Okay. Well, a class reunion from Lee's class will be there at the ball game as well. So we're looking forward to that.
So what's J.H. Rose's record so far this year?
J.H. Rose is 0-4, so they've lost their first 4 games of the season, but they have played 4 very tough teams. So I know a lot of times,
soon to be 5.
Especially the kids and the fans kind of get caught up in the records. But when you're they're 0-4, but like I said, they played four very good tough teams. So you can't take them for granted. And
right now,
I know the Cardinals are going to come out pretty fired up because they haven't played in a couple weeks. Their game last week was not played because of all the weather and everything. So they haven't played in a couple weeks. So they're going to be they may be a little rusty, and I'm sure they'll be excited to finally play a game again. But you can't take J.H. Rose or any of those Greenville schools for granted.
Nope, absolutely. They've always been Rose has been a tough team for years and years and years. They've always mounted a pretty good team. So
yes,
looking forward to a good game, but I'm looking forward to the Cardinals kicking some backside.
Yeah, well, I'm looking forward to the game too. That's the game I'm going to be at today. It's just it's not only is it the conference opener for the Jacksonville Cardinals, but there's just I think it's probably going to be the best game overall. We have a couple other games that on paper look to be kind of maybe some lopsided affairs. So I'll be at Cardinal Stadium tomorrow night.
Good. Excellent. Well, looking forward to it. I think it'll be wonderful. What else is happening? I know we got some other teams playing.
Yeah, we got other teams playing. White Oak's at Swansboro tomorrow, and Northside's going to be at home, and Northside's a lot better than they had been in recent years. And Southwest is taking a trip to Duplin County to take on Walters Hill, and so we had some great games. Some good ball games on forward, but we're already in week 5 of the high school football season.
That's hard to believe. It's slipping by already. Do we have plans for next year yet?
I think the football season goes by pretty fast.
It does.
They only play once a week, whereas the other sports tend to be a little bit slower because they play 2 or 3 times a week, basketball or volleyball or you name it. So football, they only play once a week, so it seems to go by pretty fast. And I mean, they only play 10 games in one season. And they'll play more if they make the play. They play 10 games, and these other sports will play 20 or 23. So it does go by pretty fast.
I remember way back in high school, because I've got a memory sometimes that I can remember way back that far. But when the crossover times when they actually were playing basketball and football at the same time, in the end of football season, the beginning of basketball season, basketball played on Tuesdays and Thursdays, football played on Friday nights, of course, as they do now. There were members of the basketball team who also played on the football team. Do we have any of that now?
Yeah, we do have a lot of that, especially with our smaller schools. But it does happen. It does happen a lot at Jacksonville, where you will have football players who will go from football season to basketball season. They are not allowed to do. You're not allowed to basically double dip. So you're not allowed to be a football player and maybe during the middle of your playoffs and start playing basketball and start practicing basketball. Your season has to be done. They did make an exception during some of those COVID times when different sports were going on. They did make an exception that it's like volleyball and soccer were both going on at the same time, and you played sports both. You could do both, but again, that was a once in a blue moon situation. So a lot of times, if a basketball coach feels like the football team's going to do really good, he's not going to schedule any games until maybe middle of December because he just doesn't want to have to go through the pain in the neck of having to reschedule games and what have you. But the players after football practice can be at the practice and kind of listen in and watch and everything, but they can't participate. And it's a safety issue. I mean, these are still young kids and young kids, young ladies, young gentlemen, and you just don't want to. And they have the responsibilities in the classroom they got to take care of. So their safety and well-being is the utmost importance, and I understand.
Okay. All right. Well, good. So predictions for tomorrow night for Jacksonville?
Well, if Jacksonville plays like they're capable of, I think they should win by at least 1 touchdown, if not 2. But they just have to play hard and play like they're capable of, and not make some of the mistakes that they had been making. So I'm sure that 2 weeks off, not 2 weeks off, but 2 weeks of not playing will do them good.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, okay. Chris, thank you, sir.
Thank you, Chris.
I'm going to kind of leave you with just a little bit here as we go out here. Let's see if this works.
Yep, Goldfinger, one of the best James Bond movies.
This is the third one. That's the first one that I actually saw as a kid when I was growing up. We went to see that. And, it was a great movie.
Oh, great! I mean, like I said, the early ones, Sean Connery, great. I mean, each Bond brought his own different persona. I mean, even George Lazenby. I mean, that's actually one of my favorite ones. Is On Her Majesty's Secret Service. That's actually one of my favorite movies. The only movie in which he gets married, if trivia question, the only one where James Bond actually got married in the movie. So one of my favorite ones, and we'll see how the series goes going forward.
Yeah. Okay. All right, Chris. Thank you. See you tomorrow night.
All right. Thank you.
Take care. Got to turn Chris down to keep me turned up. Sometimes
it's going to be.
Yes, we're good.
I think it'll be a good game.
It's going to be a good game.
We have to win. We've got people coming from New Mexico.
Really?
in New Jersey,
Do they know the way here?
Florida.
They know how to
Yes.
get here.
They're coming for the reunion. They're coming for the ball game tomorrow night. So
They know
Uh-huh.
how to get home. Yeah.
But don't be the really older looking people.
You stop.
I mean, you're going to be young.
you're
When I-
sitting with us. So
When I go to a reunion, which I guess I've got another one in 2 years,
Mhm.
when I go to a reunion, I don't recognize anybody because they've all gotten old.
well, you know, it's surprising to see people who haven't seen in many decades, and
Uh-huh.
some have that youth.
Some look the
about
same
them,
and some don't.
and
Yeah.
some look like they're like 20 years older
Mhm.
than you are,
Mhm.
and it's just amazing how people age differently.
Mhm.
So
Well, Rayford,
Yes.
you've got to go online
Oh,
and look at this baby pip. That's what I've been looking at all morning, getting all distracted. This baby pygmy hippo in Thailand has become one of the biggest online sensations lately. It's like 2 months old. Her name is Moo Ding. Oh my goodness, baby is so stinking cute, and you can go
probably
online.
stinking is right.
Oh, I want one. But
It won't
she's
work with
so,
the
and
alpaca.
she's at the Thailand Zoo, and I mean, and because they have a video cam of her
Mhm.
that's being shown, people like obsessively watch it. But it has like quadrupled their own people actually coming to the zoo, and they've got certain times, but they're watching the zookeepers like give her a little bath, and she makes these little squeals, and she's a pygmy hippo. She is so cute. So anybody can go online and look at her.
Well,
She is adorable.
You
She
can't
is
have one.
cute.
Hippos eat alpacas.
Then I
Look it
won't-
up. That's on their food.
Oh.
Well, then I won't be
Yes.
getting one
I
because
thought
I'm
so.
having my alpaca. So
Poor Kamala.
well, what is it with the change of accent again when she was
I-
speaking
I saw
in
that.
front
Yeah.
of the Black
I do that
Caucus?
too all the time. Don't you do that?
I don't do it. I'm not good at that. Robin's
No.
good at that, but I'm
Oh,
not.
yeah.
Mhm.
Since her campaign staff has loaded up the candidate's website with all of the information anyone could want about whatever policies she actually has, it's not fair for reporters and the public to ask her questions about her policies.
I'm glad you said that.
Good old Hillary, trying to help out the candidate,
Mhm.
says that all anyone has to do is go to Kamala's website if they're actually interested. So let me get this straight.
Mhm.
Let me get this straight. If I file for any office,
Mhm.
local, state,
Yeah.
or federal, and
Yeah.
my team of expert manipulators, that would be y'all,
Yeah.
because y'all got me into that cooking thing.
Yeah.
My team of expert manipulators would put everything on my website. Y'all would do it. You'd put everything that you need to know about me up on my website, right?
Right. Yes.
Not a problem. Making me look like the great savior. And I just go visit some good old boys from my background. Avoid contact with reporters, or for God's sakes, especially those with half a brain that have not been programmed by the folks who write their paychecks. Instead, referring to the public relations work on the web. Just send them to the web. That's what Kamala is doing. Send them to the web. Avoid answering questions that might even challenge those worldwide web policies. Then I would be home free. I would be home free because Hillary, who has lost a couple presidential elections, said that's the way to actually win, by doing a little dance. You know, y'all remember seeing The Best Little Whorehouse in Texas?
Yeah. It's a good movie.
Just like the
Yes.
governor that
Mhm.
portrayed the governor in that movie, just like he did. Do you remember him?
Yeah. You're going to get us kicked off Facebook.
Sidestep. Now they see me, now they don't have come and gone. And ooh, I love to sweep around the white step. Cut a little knot and lead the people on.
It's only 24 seconds. They can't kick me off of that, I hope.
They will. Trust me, but it's all right. So Facebook prepared.
Defending her fellow woman,
Mhm.
Hillary said, I think it's it's a double standard. And it's a double standard that is partly because they are still getting to know her.
Mhm.
What the Sam Hill did she just say? She said, I think it's a double standard, and it's a double standard that is partly because they are still getting to know her, but also because they're still grappling with the idea like, oh, am I really going to vote for a woman to be president and commander in chief? Really?
Well, it's just
Hillary, You should not use the excuse you had used, not once, but twice when you ran. I'd forgotten that
Yeah.
Howard Stern must have been thinking of you when
Top
just a
left.
few years back you called Trump supporters
Did it
deplorables.
again.
Howard and Hillary, the magical team of haters. That's what they are.
Right. Right.
Do
It
not
just-
discount the voters out there, y'all. If a majority wants Kamala, she wins. If not, Trump wins. It's simple math. Besides, Kamala has the blessing of the president, her boss, so to speak. She learned a lot of being a winner. You don't believe me? You don't believe me? The children of the community are the children of the community.
Well,
That was her latest word salad in addressing a congressional group.
well, did you see CNN's Dana Bash
Oh,
went on there and
man.
said you could start a drink? Now this is CNN. Like I had to read it 3 times for it sunk in. She said you could start a drinking game for every time Harris uses the same talking points.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely.
I mean, she's like,
You would have people
you'd be drunk
blitzed.
in the hospital, but she said, she just keeps bringing up, she's a middle class kid and blah blah blah. She said because, and she said, and then a Semaphore reporter, David Weigel, he even said he suggested that Harris leans on her rhetoric because she doesn't have an answer to
Of
what
course
the
not.
voters' questions about prices and stuff.
Nope.
He said so. She just comes up with this, crazy nonsense. She's talking the same old story. I'm a middle class kid and blah blah blah. But Dana Bash is like, well, it's a drinking game. I'm like, you'll be drunk quick.
Have you noticed how often lately when she's interviewing JD Vance,
Mhm.
man, he ends up shutting her down
Mhm.
every time.
Yeah.
He's just like, he just goes because she'll ask him something that's where she's putting her own spin to it.
You're talking about Dana Bash.
Yeah.
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 And boy, he'll go after her. And I was watching some of the shorts from it last night. And I was like, whoa. And there was one time when he was talking and she started to interrupt. And so he just stopped. And so she stopped. So
Uh-huh.
he just sat there glaring at her.
Mhm.
That's an interrogation technique.
And,
I
and
did
so
that- did
then
that too.
she just didn't know what to do. And finally she said something and said, go ahead. And then he, went ahead and started talking again. But I was like, wow.
Well, I think it's interesting that
It's
even
commanding.
that
Yes.
she is, even Dana Bash was saying, Kamala has no platform.
No,
And
she doesn't.
doesn't. I mean,
Right.
so it seems like CNN is kind of, I wouldn't say turning against, but I'm saying they're pointing out glaring facts. I mean, these are
CNN
things you can't argue.
Let me do the broadcaster's routine.
Mm-hmm.
Stan has been, God, I cleaned that up. I was going to say something I can't.
I
do.
know.
Turn the mics off.
Yeah.
CNN has been in the toilet and
Yeah.
getting deeper and deeper in the toilet
Correct.
for any number of years.
Yeah.
They lose the ratings war with all of the other, with the primary
Mhm.
24-hour
Right,
news cycle people,
right.
like Fox News. Fox
Yeah,
News is
yeah.
on top, and CNN is a distant second.
Mhm.
They don't come out. BBC on one of the polling, one of the rating periods, I'll never forget. BBC America beat CNN.
Right.
I was like, really?
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
You're going to watch a boring? I mean, those guys on
Mhm.
BBC, they talk like
I
they
know
talk
they do.
like this, and they,
Well,
oh my
they
goodness.
pretty much have their facts together.
They
though.
do.
I mean, I like
But
to
they
go to
put you to
BBC
sleep
and
before you
read.
can get to them.
I like to read it. I don't-
You gotta read it.
Yes, I don't particularly like. But remember when Megyn Kelly could not stand Trump, and she used to interview him,
Yeah.
and then he would make remarks.
What happened to her as a result of that?
She ended up being removed. But let me tell you what, she's got her own podcast show now.
Oh, really?
Not like being
You-
on Fox.
You need to go listen to her. She's all 100% for Trump.
Yep.
And, which surprised me because
She-
I thought, didn't
She
I
was
have
a job as
falling
public,
out?
as the White House spokesperson, and that's
Well,
what she's counting on.
Well, no, I don't think so. She's doing well on her own right now, but be prepared for some words.
White House press people don't last very long, so she spend a term. A
I
tour
don't think
duty
she'll
there
give
for a
up
year and a
the
half,
gig.
2
She's
years.
got to go just like Tucker Carlson.
Yeah.
Carlson,
Tucker.
Yeah, Tucker
Tucker
Carlson.
Carlson, yeah.
And he's
TC,
got
we call
he's got his own podcast
I knew he had a
too.
podcast.
Yeah.
And he's making good money at it. And from what I've seen on Megan, she's got a lot of subscribers. And
Well, we don't have a podcast coming, but we got an internet radio station coming.
That's
We're-
right.
We worked on it again yesterday, working on a logo and working on a website, building a web page to go on a website. So we got the website. We just don't have the.
yeah, we have our domain.
We have,
We
yeah,
just
that's what I
have
mean.
to,
We got a domain. We got a place to put the whatever we're building.
we have something that you can click on it and we'll go to our webpage. How about that?
You click on it, go to our web page. You can do
Yes.
that. But also, once you get to our web page, you're going to be able to click on something that says "Listen Now,"
Right.
but it'll be available from 7 to 9 a.m.
That's right.
weekdays.
Right.
Listen now. Click. Bang. Run.
Right.
Good. We're going to look for ways to put up the archives
It
as well.
just-
There's something called SoundCloud for that.
Yes. It just takes, you could sit there and probably do it overnight, but it racks your brain.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work.
You look at it and then say, that's too busy or that's not enough or we need this. It needs to be streamlined. Pick all the things you don't like about every other website when you go there.
Right.
And one of them is the first thing that's going to be how slow they perform. That's because they're loaded up with so much crap
Mhm.
and large sizes of the crap. We don't need that. We don't need, 10 megabyte.
We don't need pages and pages and pages
Of
on
pictures,
the
yeah.
website. So
But we will have a
That'll be
website.
good.
We'll have a website that will include links that we use regularly,
links
like
that
in
you can
weather
chat
and
with
stuff like
us
that.
and
We'll include links on a daily basis whenever we're having,
Right.
with the dog pound in or somebody's got special things. We will update those
right.
on a daily basis. And then the other stuff we will do, just like you do on Facebook, but the other stuff we will have up there so you can go to it anytime. You don't have to go searching yourself. You go to our website. When we get it done, you just click on that. It's like the big glossary. So that'll be good.
Right. And we can give notices on upcoming guests
We can do that too.
like some other people do. And but we can control it now. So.
Yeah, it's going to be our
gonna be good.
radio group. It's going to be
That's
our
right.
radio station. It's an internet radio station, they call it. It has the potential of hitting people all over the world.
Mhm.
So we will see how that works out. The Marine Forecast sponsored by Community Prevention Services of Jacksonville. We get gloom and doom news every day. We've already covered some. We talk about warring factions in the Middle East and the impending World War III possibility, uprisings in Africa, many of us having to deal with family members dying from opioid overdoses with fears that our children or grandchildren will somehow succumb to peer pressure and take what they think is a souped up over-the-counter pain pill. There's no wonder my nerves and your nerves are on end. Community Prevention Services can help you with your anxiety and educate you on what to be looking for when you're dealing with your kids. Don't have any kids? You got neighbors, you got nephews, nieces, I'm sure. I have grandchildren. There's no better time than now to get started. We wish we could say that the world situation will get better. We can hope. The best we can do is hope. But the counselors at Community Prevention Services can help you now. They can help you cope with the stress and anxiety, and hopefully you can find a degree of relief. I hope so. Community Prevention Services, a locally owned and operated company located at 918 Henderson Drive. Give them a call, set up a time to meet and talk. You'll be happy you did. I have no doubt about it. 910-353-0972. 910-353-0972. Maybe one day we will find some folks who can give us testimonials about how well you guys have done with them. I know they want to keep most things quiet.
That's a HIPAA violation. We can't do that.
Not you, but they can do it.
That still would be HIPAA violation.
If they come out and say it, no.
I mean,
They can say what they want to say. HIPAA cannot stop me from telling
no,
you
they
anything
can say
about
that,
me.
but I don't think we could solicit that.
You don't have
I
to.
don't think so.
Maybe one will show up.
Yeah.
Offshore, it's time to get ready to take advantage of some great fishing weather. I've heard reports yesterday of pretty good catches of Spanish and king mackerel in the waters not very far from the New River Inlet. You don't have to drive everywhere. The conditions will make the trip there and back even more pleasurable. Offshore today, northwesterly wind or northerly winds 5 to 10 knots, becoming northeasterly this afternoon. Seas 2 to 4 feet. 3-foot waves from the east, 9 seconds apart. Sounds and rivers a light chop, becoming flat this afternoon. Tomorrow, northerly winds 10 to 15 knots, becoming northeasterly 5 to 10 in the afternoon. 2 to 3 footers. Sounds and rivers a moderate chop, diminishing to a light chop in the afternoon. Northerly winds on Saturday, about 10 knots. Seas 2 to 4 feet. Sounds and rivers a light chop.
Today, showers and thunderstorms likely, mainly after 3 p.m. Otherwise, mostly cloudy, high of 81. 60% chance of rain today. Tonight, mostly cloudy, low of 65. Tomorrow, patchy fog before 8 a.m. Otherwise, mostly sunny, a high of 83. Tomorrow night, mostly clear, low of 63. And on Saturday, sunny, high of 83. Raven, you know something we haven't heard a lot of talk about?
What's that?
And I don't even know that we've talked about it this week. Israel's brilliant move on the pagers.
Yeah, I was going to discuss that a little bit. I don't have a lot of details to, but I know what I've read. Pagers. I never liked them anyway.
No.
Now I
can't- and
refuse
people
to like
still use them?
them. Yes, they do.
Okay. Well, I didn't even know that was a thing.
A lot of druggies use them.
You know, that makes sense, I guess. And AOC and Bernie Sanders want the U.S. to issue a, what is it? What do they call it for?
Condemnation or something.
No, they want the U.S. Let me pull this up. I just had it in my page.
Okay, what Israel did, they
Yeah.
managed to infiltrate pagers.
Yeah,
And what happens when they infiltrated the pagers?
they put
explosive
explosives
liquid in them.
Yeah,
And
Yeah.
then what they did was they had it
They
set,
wait for the right time.
and they had it set to where they could detonate them remotely at a certain time.
okay.
That's crazy.
Bernie Sanders, he and her, they're leading the action. They want a joint resolution blocking all U.S. arms sales to Israel as a
Yep.
result of this. Now, first of all, what I have to say about that is Hezbollah is a terrorist organization.
It is.
And, you know, we shouldn't, in my personal opinion, we shouldn't be interjecting ourselves into their thing. I think it's a cool move personally, but that's just my opinion. I think it's brilliant.
You're going to find that I'm going to disagree, but go
That's
ahead.
fine. And that's fine. But I mean, I think that where is their condemnation when there has been attacks, you know, by these organizations on innocent people? You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm talking about Hezbollah's things that they've done in the past. I'm not talking about recently. So, but I mean, Israel does a lot of things that thinking outside the box. I think this is very outside the box.
Well, this is a brilliant move.
It was brilliant, but
I don't like the fact that what happens when the innocent people
That's what I was
end up
gonna
with
say.
the pagers
Yeah.
like kids.
how
There
could,
was
because
kids.
there were, and how could the thing
How
I
do you
did
know
not like?
that the daddy is not
Right.
standing there holding his child's hand when it goes boom?
What I don't, because they intercepted the pagers they came from Turkey, and there was 5,000 of them. But how did they know? I mean, it would have been different if they'd have somehow infiltrated Hezbollah's organization and planted them all in there. But there was no way. I guess they're looking at it as a casualty of war, which is how a lot of people view things. But I agree with that. I like that
Collateral
they
damage.
targeted Hezbollah. I bet they had no way of knowing.
Nope.
You know, that just innocent people would get these pagers because they were bought and sold. You know what I mean? Like, they should have figured out how to infiltrate Hezbollah's and just.
I do not know
They're
that
all
they
there.
didn't. Do you think that we got all the information from Israel?
Oh, absolutely. No,
absolutely.
Raven,
Mossad, they're not going to tell us how to do
No.
things. If you want to know how we do things in this country, go on up there to Langley and ask somebody.
Yeah.
And let me know what they tell you. Okay? You got the same situation with Israel.
I wrote a whole thesis on Mossad. I learned a lot in my research that they got it together. I mean, and you know, the way that Israel requires them all to be in the military at certain age, blah, blah, blah. I mean, they get a lot of training and they do a lot of super covert stuff. Some of it, if you just watch the movie Munich, which is an amazing movie, by the way, to see how they operate. But yeah, I mean, this, I thought, you know, I like that they targeted Hezbollah, but I don't like you said that because they couldn't have
unless they
guaranteed.
have the safeguards there that I
Yeah.
don't know about.
Yeah. I mean, because they
which I don't know about.
right.
Period. So hopefully they did, because I don't think they want that on their hands.
Well, they
either.
said there was civilian casualty,
there
injuries
will
and
be.
stuff, but there already was. They already exploded them.
That's called collateral
Yeah,
damage.
I mean, and that's what I'm saying. That there were injuries. They weren't all deaths. They did have deaths, but they were a lot of injuries of people that weren't members of Hezbollah, or that people are saying they weren't members. That's what I'm saying. How would you have been able to guarantee that?
Don't know.
Apparently they didn't. I guess
have
they were
to hear
just.
more, and I'm sure we will hear more at some point in time.
We haven't heard a lot about the military. The U.S. media hasn't said a whole lot about it. I think a lot of them are anti-Israel. So
Wow, here's some news that just came out with Reuters and New York Times and Washington Post tying Harris and Trump now nationally.
oh wow,
Tying them.
tying
Yeah, I saw
them.
that.
It's
I have
going to
not
go
seen
down to the wire.
It's going to come down to
Just-
at one vote.
That will change tomorrow. It's
That's
going
true,
to be
too.
completely different tomorrow.
Early voting
yes.
started, or was it mail-in ballots or something started somewhere this week? Pennsylvania.
We have a nice caller. Good morning.
Good morning, everybody.
How are you?
Hi, Mike.
Hey, how y'all doing?
Good. How are you?
I just want to call in about the Israel situation. If you remember, a couple months back when I was talking about the food workers that got and 80 workers that got killed in the convoy in Rafah, where Israel dropped missile-guided munitions onto them, even after deconflicting with the Israeli government in an open area. I go back and think about things like that when things of this nature happen. And then what you're saying about, targeting other individuals. A lot of these attacks, and even a new walkie-talkie attacks that just happened like yesterday, they're doing walkie-talkies too, where they're simultaneously blowing them all up together instead of individually waiting until they get with a terrorist cell or A, B, and C, And that's the part that I really have a problem with. So it looks like, you think about terrorist organizations and the means that they do to take out attacks. And these are the tactics of a terrorist organization, not calling the Israeli government a terrorist organization, but these are the tactics being used.
Okay.
Well, I don't view the Israeli government as a terrorist
I don't either.
organization. I view them as
No.
a country.
They're defending themselves too. First of all, they're up against. There's a small country,
It is very
Okay.
small. Yeah,
and they've got Iran doesn't like them. Russia doesn't like them.
Syria.
Palestine, Syria. I don't know
Even
about
Lebanon.
Jordan. Lebanon doesn't like them.
Mm-mm.
So they're working against a lot of folks out there that do not like them,
Mhm.
and that they are, and these other countries are assisting in trying to eliminate Israel. They've made it perfectly clear they would just like to wipe Israel off the map. They've
Yeah.
said it. Now I don't know. Mike. I don't know a whole lot about your background, but if you've got, I don't know, if you live in your neighborhood, well, I don't know where it is, but let's say you live in a neighborhood and you've got people in your neighborhood that are constantly doing things, taking pot shots at your windows, maybe flattening your tires, or doing things like that, because they say, I don't want that guy out here. I don't want him living in my neighborhood. I don't like him.
Mhm.
He's not one of us. So we got to get rid of him. And they start doing that. Would you not take defensive action?
I would follow the law. And that's
understand.
the problem that we're having.
I understand.
Yeah, probably.
What is the law? What is the law when
The
people
law-
are coming after you and your children?
We have rules of war, sir, in Geneva Conventions, where they should be following.
This is not a
The
war.
reason why the Hague is going after the prime minister, because his actions before the war that happened,
Mhm.
where he actually was boosting up Hamas, and in order to control the Palestinian Authority, he was boosting up Hamas and giving them support, which led to the incidents that occurred on that tragic day on October 7th. So there's a lot of things that's circulating around this. I'm not saying they don't have the right to defend themselves, but when you're engaged in war, then you have to follow Geneva Conventions. You must do things the right way.
Now they're engaged in
Or
a
if you
war
find
with
yourself-
terrorists. Is that correct? Is that the way you look at it?
They're at war with Hamas.
They're
which is a terrorist
they're war
organization,
Mhm.
and Hezbollah, a terrorist
Terrorist
organization,
organization, yeah.
correct? They're both terrorist organizations. You agree with
And
that?
they're not countries.
Or you agree with that?
Yeah.
Okay. They're at war with nationality. They're
Mhm.
not at war with a country.
Yeah.
Now,
They don't
how do
have
you
to be at
fight?
war with
Hold,
countries.
how do you fight a war with terrorists? Who do not,
Same.
by their very nature and their very name, do not abide by the rules of engagement? They don't do it. So how do you deal with that?
Say, I mean, we have the same issue when we in Iraq and Afghanistan, and we didn't fight the Afghanistan army. We didn't fight the Iraqi army for all those years, even though they fell very shortly. It was the ideology, like you're saying. It was terrorist organizations. So engaging in the war on terror, which we were at war with, follow the Geneva Conventions, follow the laws. That way, we do things the right way.
If you think that you were getting your butt beat by all the neighbors around you, and you weren't going to be able to survive, would you be concerned a whole lot about the rules of engagement or the law at that point in time for the sake of your children and your wife?
I would be, because you can breed a bigger problem and years of resentment from doing it the wrong way. And
If
exacerbating the
you
problem
are
altogether.
alive,
But that's when you got allies. That's when you got certain ways of going in surgically and tactically. They have the biggest special force, one of the most well-trained special forces in the world, to where they can tactically go in and take out key assignments. I mean, it's not like they don't have the capabilities. Instead of just broadbanding, bombing places, they can go in surgically and do a lot of things. Even the defense minister within the Israeli government minister, and there's a rift there. I mean, it's evident in the people.
Sure.
That's why they're revolting and they're having protests within Israel
what's
about the way things are going.
what is the military history of this prime minister?
The military here's the problem. There's
You're talking
there.
about Netanyahu, right?
The Netanyahu. He's been there a while. But his defense ministers, they've been there a while as well.
Yeah,
right?
I know, but Netanyahu's been, we know he's in power, right? Is this the individual you're talking about? What do you know about his history back in the 1970s or early 80s?
About his military history? Not
Yeah.
much
Oh, okay.
that I personally know.
Do you know?
Israeli Defense Forces.
But he was also raised in the United States.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
A friend of mine
Mhm.
was raised in the United States, and he used a different name when he went back there to fight in the Israeli Defense Forces in the 1970s. He lives in this neighborhood, not in this neighborhood, but in the area.
Well, Netanyahu graduated from MIT.
Mhm.
He's
Mhm.
educated.
Yep.
Yeah. But he did.
So is this guy.
He also has pending criminal charges in The Hague, so he's going to have to deal with that after all this for certain things that he done, because he was indiscriminate.
At this
in his
point in time,
campaign.
he is fighting for Israel's life.
Yeah. I don't
Now,
think he cares about
I don't think
pending criminal
at his
charges.
age, I don't think he cares
So-
what the Hague is going to do.
Yeah. I agree with that.
So do anything, no matter what. That's the answer.
Nope. I'm saying that if I was in his shoes, I don't know what I would be doing.
Hmm.
And you don't either, Michael. I'll guarantee you.
Well,
Yeah. I agree with
we
that.
can't say what he'll do in his shoes, but we can say what's right and what's wrong.
Now, you can say today what's right and what's wrong, but when it comes down to protecting my kids and my grandchildren, my wife, oh my, no. It's Katie bar the door. Do not get between me and them, or you're going to suffer.
So killing an American citizen and in a convoy of aid workers, how does that effectively protect Israel? Because that's what he did.
Uh-huh.
And they even deconflicted beforehand, let them know that they was on a mission. They was going this route. This is where they were. And they initially guided the missile right into the roof of their truck.
Where were they at the
of their
time?
company on top.
Physically, where were they located at the time?
It was in Rafah.
Who were they going to
They
give
were-
aid to?
They was going to give aid to the Palestinian people.
To the people or to Hamas?
To the Palestinian people. They didn't even get to the location yet. They was in the route,
Uh-huh.
and the missile went through the hood where the company logo is on the hood, the hood of the car, the
Sure.
front part, everywhere, and they killed them all. Even after the deconflated let them know that they were there.
I'm just
They
going to
was like,
ask.
"All right."
I'm going to ask you a couple of questions now. Was this company involved in any other activities in a previous life at a previous time? Where I've seen church groups who were harboring
Mhm.
individuals in this country at harboring individuals so they could sneak them in and out of locations under the guise of being the church. Was
The
this group
World
ever
Food
doing?
Kitchen-
Did this company ever do that, or do you know?
the World Food Kitchen, from my knowledge, never been accused of anything like that.
I'm gonna look it up.
Did this group itself, the ones that were going in there, were they under investigation, or do you know?
We do not know if they was under investigation.
Okay. Before I pass judgment, I would want to know all of those questions. Answers to all of those questions. Would you not?
But if they were under investigation, would it warrant a missile going through your hood?
The biggest word in the English language is 2 letters. If.
And killing an American citizen that you know has been deconflicted, that's on the line. So you know it's going to cause a rift between us and them when you
Sure.
do that.
I don't know. I know the answers to all of the questions. The bigger picture is what you have to look at.
I would want to run that investigation to its course if that's even happening. We don't even know if they even happen.
I don't know what they're doing. They're not going to tell me. Guarantee you that.
But days after, they apologized for the incident, saying
Sure.
that it was a mistake.
Yep.
So it wasn't. I mean, you're saying it's a mistake, but then some people are arguing,
I don't know.
that
I don't know. If they apologize, and good for them for apologizing. Does that mean they did not intend to do it, or are they just trying to cover up now and say, "Oh, it was a mistake. Sorry about that."
the
Yeah.
thing about missile guided munitions is that this stuff is locked in and is guided. And even with the deconfliction and all that, they should know who the people were inside that vehicle.
Mhm.
So, for to say it's a mistake is far fetched.
I do not know why they
Yeah.
targeted them. I have no clue, Mike. I just don't know. I would like to know why they
Yeah.
targeted that particular vehicle.
I got
Now-
it pulled up right here.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Now,
But I don't
No,
know what I don't know.
no.
So that's the reason I say I've got to
Yeah.
have answers to the questions that I have
Yeah.
before I pass judgment.
Now, around that time, it was believed that the strategy of the Israeli government was to starve out the people and start, in turn, starve out the terrorists because terrorists were taking food from the people.
Yep.
And they were like, well, we're just going to starve the whole area. So, I mean, that could be their premise.
Well, this says that the military had been targeting unauthorized gunmen, but they also dismissed 2 officers over there. And,
Israel did.
Yeah,
yes.
Israel did, because they did not. Apparently they violated the rules. They were not supposed to strike all 3 cars in succession, no matter who they were targeting, apparently. And these military guys did it anyway. But Australian government, they did an inquiry and they supported the way Israel handled it. So that's why I say, even in The Hague, I don't think it will get far if you don't have everybody on board. Yeah. I'm still reading.
There's a lot, as you know, you've been in conflict, right?
Yes.
Okay. There's a whole lot of things that happen with individuals in our armed forces. Things happen that are not done with the with justification, because there are people out there called rogue people that do things their way. They don't care, right?
hmm
Were you associated with any?
I have situations that
Okay.
I can't speak about.
I understand
There's
that.
situations that happened to where I see our country do things that I'm not necessarily proud of.
Was
These
it our
people out there
country, or were the individuals doing things they weren't supposed to be doing?
No, like I give you one instance that I can't speak on. I was in Task Force Med in Bagram, Afghanistan. I was in charge of the flight line and medical services, stuff like that. There was people that we of course took care of the local nationals around there in the hospital. And after a certain amount of time, what they'll do is they'll send them to the gate to be picked up by their family.
Okay.
So before even contacting their family, we would do things like just put them at the gate, not contact their families for a day or two, just let them sit there on a stretcher with a colostomy bag or barely alive, and then they'll finally contact the family and see if it's a race as far as like see if they'll survive or not. I mean, there's things like that I witnessed, and it's like, why would we do that? You know?
Okay.
And I mean, and it breaks down to not like an overarching government thing, but individual thing. People that have control of those certain elements would be like, well, this is what we're doing. And it's like, why? You know? Things like that is just, and what it happens is it exacerbates when that person dies or in other situations when people die, innocent people, with circumstances that we could totally avoid, it exacerbates a problem, and it makes it a bigger issue within their communities to where you end up just making them martyrs and breeding more terrorists. And that's what we've seen a lot up there.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like we're over there, you know, doing the right thing and we're fighting, but we see that there's certain orders or certain things coming down. It's like, all right, it's going to create 100 more of these guys next week. And so what's the freaking point of this? You know, it demoralizes our troops. It does a lot of things to where it's like, what are we doing that we could do better?
So why are we there?
Why we're there for, in my opinion, special interests. Over there fighting as a fighting force, you know, we never thought of being over there for, you know, our government or for freedom. It was all about to the left, to the women to the left and right of us, keep each other alive, doing what we have to do. Because we get orders, is like, what?
Well, you said just about 2 minutes ago, you said we're there to do the right thing, or we're there doing the right thing. We're there. Do you still feel like we're there doing the right thing?
There's a lot of good and there's a lot of right things being done when we're overseas, but then there's some operations that happen and it's like, all right, that ain't the right thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like an overarching plan to not do the right thing. It's certain individuals that have certain commands and their prejudice creep in and wrong things start happening.
Okay, those are the people we read about if they're a commander that is relieved of his duty because of a lack of confidence. We read that all the time, right?
Yeah.
We just had one, that same thing happened on a ship, commander of the ship, captain, gone.
Right.
So, so when we find out about it, I mean, you're talking about we are doing things. When the government find out about it, do we not take corrective action?
Yeah, we take corrective action and we make sure the problem is corrected.
One of the things that I recall is that not only do we go after the one individual that may be doing this, we go after everybody else who was involved or may have not stopped it. That was one of the things that used to be the big deal. Is that not the case anymore?
It's still the case.
Okay.
Because you have the right to disavow orders if they're not lawful and legal.
Yeah.
And that's where, when I think about stuff like that, that's when I look at the Israeli, say, for the operators of those drones that sent those missiles, that knew that deconfliction already was reported, and you know who they are. It's like, do you follow the order or not? You know, and where did those orders come from?
So the higher echelon, the higher ranking individuals in the Israeli whatever branch that was, they took action, got rid of those individuals, and they apologized for it and said they should never have happened. We've had a few incidents like that on more than one occasion, including shooting down airplanes, right?
Where we had friendly fire?
Yeah,
we have friendly fire situations.
Well, not friendly fire. Friendly fire is generally going to be involving your own people, but where you're taking out civilians or whatever by mistake because you thought he was something else that was involved there, and not because you had Osama bin Laden hiding among a bunch of innocent people. Because if he's hiding among a bunch of innocent people, they're not innocent. We all know that.
Yeah.
They're decoys.
And
they're bulletproof vests, supposedly.
Yeah.
Okay. So hiding them with a bag. If you're surrounding some bad guy to keep the good guys from coming in, you are part of the problem, and I have no problem in you going away.
Mm-hmm.
Do you?
If you're surrounding the bad guy,
if you're there, you're knowingly acting as his buffer to the rest of the world, thinking that we, the good people in this world, will not do anything to reach him because they may have to go through you. Would you go through them?
And see, that's part about knowing and people that are unwilling, willing and unwilling.
Would you have gone through his son, Osama bin Laden's son, his wife or wives, I don't know how many he had, to get to him?
Mhm.
Would you have done it?
I would have.
Good. Thank you. All right. Got to run here. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Mike.
Mike, you
Thanks.
take care.
Well, I was pulling this up while I
I
was
saw you.
talking. So, when they did the investigation on this attack, what prompted this whole thing was the WCK. That's the group, the World Kitchen thing or whatever. I don't know what those initials stand for, but anyway, there was video and drone footage of their cars escorting an aid truck that had a gunman on its roof. And this was the day or two prior to when they got bombed. And the gunman fired a gun, and they've got all this on video.
Okay. Now, the aid group had an
Was escorting, though they were the aid group escorted aid group had cars. They escorted an aid truck. Didn't say it was their truck. They just said escorted. And the truck had a gunman on its
it
roof.
was not a non-combatant.
And they got video of the on the roof firing a gun. Like they have they have it.
Different situation
Yeah.
altogether.
That's what prompted this. So then
That's why I said
yeah,
I've seen church groups do exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
Not with the guns and things, but
Yeah.
sneak people into places they weren't supposed to be,
right.
that they were illegal for them to get there.
So then apparently the aid group had a warehouse. And so then by drone once again, they spot a second gunman. So then they start thinking, well, they made an assumption that these were Hamas, because they've never identified who these gunmen were, that these are Hamas using the aid group as almost like cover kind of thing.
Figuring they
And-
wouldn't get shot at.
And that's what prompted this whole thing with the cars.
Gotcha.
So yeah, and so it started
I
with
didn't follow
this
it. but
gunman on. I
could have
didn't either,
guessed.
but it started with this gunman, and it's on video. Like you cannot. BBC even said you clearly see the guy shoot the gun.
Now you understand why I ask
Yeah.
questions, do you?
Yeah,
Yes.
because so that's why Israel didn't just go, well, let me just go target this aid convoy because
No.
they're just an aid convoy. They had 1 or 2 days prior had that happen,
Mm.
and they're like, okay, something's up. And I think maybe if they had not seen the second gunman, maybe they wouldn't have.
Yeah.
They may go, well, it's maybe a fluke thing or whatever.
Maybe
but
they
this-
shouldn't have gone as far
Yeah.
as they did, but I can understand them taking.
I totally understand why they
corrective
did what
action.
they did. Yes.
Okay.
Now, here's a crazy story I saw. An
Crazier
8-year-old.
than one we've just dealt
Well,
with.
yeah, the 8-year-old in Ohio. It's always Ohio lately. It's just getting worse in Florida. It happened Sunday. Apparently, she wanted some Starbucks at 9 a.m.
Oh my God! Yes.
At 9 a.m. Sunday
talked to-
morning, the neighbors caught her on
We
camera.
talked about that
Yeah,
yesterday. Is that
getting
the
in
one
there, and
that
I'm watching the
took
video.
Lamar's car and drove.
Drove all the way to the Target
Yes.
Starbucks.
Yeah, like
drove
this,
it.
right?
Yeah,
How'd she see through the windshield?
they don't know, but she
Must have
made
been-
it. The only
must have been
thing
the
she hit,
GPS.
she hit a mailbox, and she admitted she did that.
Well,
But when the police
Probably
finally
deserved
found her, she was sitting in Starbucks drinking her frappuccino. And
Yeah, it was pretty cute what
I
the
mean,
police
it's-
department said.
and the
about
police
that.
department said we let her finish her drink because we're not mean. I mean, that's
That's
what they
right.
said. I mean, and I don't think they charged her with anything.
well,
I
you
mean,
wouldn't get anywhere if you did.
yeah, I mean, but I mean,
Parents, secure your keys,
because
please.
they're wondering how she got the money. They didn't say. I mean,
Daddy's left his wallet.
Yeah,
Mama's
people have-
pocketbook somewhere.
Yeah.
Come on, give me a break.
That was a cute story, though. I can't imagine how she was
Besides, even
able.
if she didn't, who's going to argue with an 8-year-old when she walks up to the counter and says, "I just drove here.
yeah.
I need some. I need
Kelly,
one of
I
those
think,
things."
didn't they say it was like a 25 minute
It
drive?
was like 25 minutes from her house. She drove, knew how to get there. Some people around here can't get to the grocery store.
Not
I
without
mean,
GPS.
seriously, yeah. I mean, she did it, and yeah. I mean, it's cute. It's scary as a mom. It's
Oh,
and
yeah.
a nana.
That would
It's a
scare me
scary
to death.
story to me. But and my grandson's, he's already talking about. And 5 years, I'll have my learner's permit. And that is a scary
Oh,
thought in
my goodness.
itself.
So, no, wait a minute. I'm sorry, my
Mhm.
little grandchild.
Mhm.
You're not really, what is he, 11?
He's 10.
You're not really 10.
Mhm.
You're only 4.
In my mind, he's 1.
No,
But yes.
you tell him he's
yes.
4.
It's my sweet
You're only
baby.
4 years old. So
Yeah.
you've got another 12 years to
Mhm.
go before you get your learner's permit.
He's already got some little girls thinking he's cute and hugging him and high-fiving him every time he
Oh,
gets the
isn't he?
answer right. Well, he is, but these little girls need to stay away. Leave my sweet baby
Oh, my
alone.
God.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Nobody good enough for
Yeah, we
him. I'm just
found
saying.
out
Yeah,
my
I'm just saying.
grandson has a
Uh-huh.
I'm going to tell your daughter she
Telling
needs to
you.
move.
Leah, so when you find out your grandchild has a little girlfriend or whatever, it's
Oh, I just
It's
found out
stress.
his mama doesn't know yet. Wait till his
Oh.
mama finds out.
yeah.
Well, she just
That's how
probably
my
found
daughter
out.
will be.
She'd probably be camped out at that girl's house.
My daughter would be that way. Yeah.
Well, I'm going to
Yeah.
tell you, I'm going to tell your daughter she needs to go ahead and move away from this place,
Mhm.
maybe about 10,000 miles,
Uh-huh.
so you won't have as much negative influence on your grandchild.
I love that kid so much.
I told you that families don't always see eye to eye when it comes to politics, right?
True statement.
Wonder Woman.
Uh-oh.
At least the lady who portrayed the character on TV in the 1970s
Linda Carter?
will not support her own sister and is encouraging others to vote for her sister's opponent. Pamela Carter, Linda Carter's sister, and incumbent Representative Matt Gress are the 2 Republicans who are running. One of the issues in this race that could determine which party controls the state house is
Mhm.
abortion. Pamela Carter is running on an anti-abortion platform and released a statement following her sister endorsing her Democratic opponents. I love my sister, even though her politics are very far left and we disagree on some issues. That doesn't change how I feel about her, so you won't catch me criticizing her or bad-mouthing her in the press. That's a good approach to have. Too bad it's
Well,
not
too
across the
late.
board for all candidates, even
Yeah.
when they act evil, but they
Mhm.
can act. They need to act civil.
Mhm.
I'm
instead
still
of being
trying to get
evil
over
to
the
their
candidates
opponents.
in Brazil.
I'm all about that. I mean, that was that poor guy. I mean,
so good.
You know,
broken ribs hurt.
What about that story that I'm thinking about? Thanksgiving is only 2 weeks or so after the election.
Yeah.
I wonder if they all gonna get together.
You know they're not. I mean,
If they do, don't let either one of those
Mhm.
sisters.
Well,
guard
Golden
the turkey.
Corral is open on Thanksgiving.
yeah,
so-
it is. Yeah.
And they got plastic knives. They'll give you-
Yes.
Oh yeah, they do. I just had to think about that for a second. Yeah.
Well, I know we have just a few minutes left. Did you see that story coming out of Woodleaf, North Carolina,
Nope.
where a man shot his wife, and his wife had a visitor in her home at the time, which happened to be the man's friend. And after he shot them both dead, he sent the wife of the man a picture showing, I just shot you and killed your husband and my wife.
Were they having an affair?
Obviously, yes.
Okay.
And it doesn't say in the story, but it said
At the
that
time that he was in the house,
So would he walk
No,
in and
he
find
he
them?
walked in. In fact,
Oh,
he
Okay,
came
I
home
gotcha.
and
Okay.
found his friend with his wife,
Okay.
and it did not go into detail, but they just
So you
said
can
domestic.
Okay.
But took a picture of it, of where he just shot them, and sent it to the guy's
well, he's not
wife.
gonna have a defense then. Go
And he
ahead.
said,
and
I
put him
just-
in
I
jail.
Yes, he
just
is.
shot and killed them both.
You get away from first-degree murder in a
Mhm.
hurry
Mhm.
because it's
It wasn't premeditated.
And it's an act of
Yeah.
passion.
And
during
she
a passionate
ended up
marriage.
she ended up calling the cops, and from the wife that received the picture, all frantic, and he was waiting for him outside when they pulled
So
up.
Where was this at?
here's what I'm.
Woodleaf, North
Here's my
Carolina.
prediction
Where's
right
that
now as we're going to be
Yeah.
leaving from here. My prediction is the widower and the widow are going to get together and get married.
oh, well, he's gonna be in prison, right? For
Not long. Not long.
Where's Woodleaf, North Carolina?
It-
Rowan County.
Yeah.
Okay. I never heard of it.
I knew it was
Okay.
over towards the west,
Yeah.
but I couldn't.
Hey, the Rat Patrol is
Yeah.
alive and well.
Oh,
we
what kind of
need
rat
to
patrol?
talk
The
about
rat-
that. Do
the
we have
real Rat
time?
Patrol in New York City. New
Oh,
York
yeah.
City
Oh,
Mayor Eric Adams says he's winning the war against rats, and now he wants other leaders across North America to learn from his fight. This dude's got all sorts of problems anyway. Embattled
Mhm.
mayor, they call it.
He's talking
Recent
about
weeks.
four-legged.
Yeah, in
Mhm.
recent weeks has been rocked by the resignation of key allies and federal probes into his inner circle. Said the city will host the National Urban Rat Summit this week.
I
The
loved
event started
when I read that.
yesterday and continues today. Today we'll feature
So
municipal rodent control experts and pest researchers from as far afield as Nolens and British Columbia. In a city like New York, my question, I would like to think they have some people somewhere in that multi-million city population that have enough experience dealing with the rats. They don't have to import an expert from New Orleans or from British Columbia. By the way, he's been so obsessed by rats. He's appointed a rat czar.
I believe
Yes,
it because
they're calling
the
him
rats
the
there are
rat czar.
gross.
That's what they're
Yeah.
calling her, Kathleen Karate.
They're the size of
There's
cats.
so much
Yeah.
I could say about this story.
I know,
so
no,
much.
no. And he says rat sightings reported to the city. They've got a special number you call.
That gives me
if you
the
see
heebie-jeebies
rats. You
just
call
thinking about it.
311 in New York if there's a rat, you see a rat. Anyway, the number of rat sightings have dropped from in 12 of the 13 months since Karate became the rat
The
czar.
rat czar.
Maybe she should go down to the southern border and take care
The
of her
rat
problems there.
czar.
All right,
So much could
Okay.
be said.
time to go.
We're done. Maybe. Tomorrow, we don't have anybody scheduled.
We have one pending. I'll tell you about
Still
it.
pending.
Still pending. Hopefully,
Is it the XYZ thing?
yes.
That's what I thought. We got to get this thing going. Get it off.
I
mean,
know.
we've been pushing this for the whole time and going out on limbs and everything else. So somebody needs to come on board and have a chat with us.
I agree.
So
I agree.
anyway, okay, we will see you tomorrow morning. In the meanwhile, it's going to be kind of foggy and hazy right now for a little while, but that's
Cloudy.
supposed
It's
to,
gonna
burn
rain
off,
this afternoon.
supposed to burn off before the rain starts.
Mhm.
I'm gonna go home and see if the mower will work.
You
I
better
had
mow
to
now.
my front
Well, your
yard.
yard may be still too wet.
I got to get
Don't
somebody
worry
to
about
jack up the
It'll
big
be in a-
lawnmower tractor I've got back there because I was mowing the weeds in the back 40
Right.
the other day, and the blade quit turning. Something happened. I don't think the
it's
belt.
probably that spindle.
I don't think the blade.
Probably something wrapped around it.
uh,
Just saying.
Yeah, the belt came off or anything, so we'll have to see. But that thing's
Yeah.
heavy. I got to.
It is.
know.
I know. I have to put mine up on ramps and change the blades. My neighbor was going to do
What
that
kind
for
of
me,
ramps?
but, you just they're drive on ramps.
Like you got for a car.
No, these are a little bit smaller. They're for like yard machines. Why you need them? I'll bring them.
Yeah, can you get down there and crawl underneath and find out what's wrong?
No.
Okay. You're live at Local Real Talk, and we will see you tomorrow morning bright and early. I almost did it. Have a great rest of your day. Have a good one and be safe.